U.S. did, and this is a whole thing, and a lot of it happened under Reagan. Right before Reagan, a lot of it under Reagan, and then it's continued after, but a lot of it happened under Reagan.
A lot of Reagan-centric.
You guys remember Reagan?
Yeah.
I remember.
You guys remember Space Wars? You guys remember the Cold War?
Yeah, I remember.
Dude. So anyway, Pinochet was one of those guys. Noriega was another one, and there's other ones. But essentially, what they did is they brought these guys into Fort Benning and in Georgia, and they had CIA guys there, but also like just high level military operators like special forces and stuff, and like military philosophers essentially teaching these guys how to employ population control and maintain control over their society. And the reason behind it all was that the U.S. wanted one sole actor to work with that was going to keep all of the pesky people over here, so that our corporations could go in
more manageable.
And yeah, exactly, it's a more manageable situation for us. And you know what? Like at that level, our government and the people that act in those organizations for us are 100%, realpolitik. Like they only are thinking about U.S.'s best interests in those situations, and the best interests of in terms of no nuance. There's no gray. It's black and white to them. Like
you can become the most.
If we dominate this country's politics, we have access to resources that will inevitably benefit American people. That's what the thinking was.
Remove as many variables as possible.
Well, what they don't think of is all the ill will that generates, and then that America reaps the repercussions of decades on down the road, which is partially, we use the same philosophy in the Middle East.
Short-term success, long-term failure.
Yeah, exactly. We use the same thing in Egypt, for example, with Mubarak, right? We supported Mubarak until we did. We also traded Mubarak in those same crowd control tactics and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so it's anyway, long story short, that's my little...
So Pinochet...
Pinochet was in Chile. He was the
correct. What was that time frame?
I believe it was late 80s, early 90s. If I'm correct.
80s, early 90s.
You should fact check me on that, because I would actually like to know. But I'm pretty sure it was early 90s.
I was just making sure my phone was on vibrate, so we could rock the rest of this thing.
I kind of want to see. But just to kind of transition a little bit off of that.
This Dundee's podcast brought to you by Pinochet.
Oh, there you go. By Augusto Pinochet.
Educate yourself.
Murderous dictator, somewhere in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna fact check that.
Thanks, Reagan.
Augusto Pinochet Ugarte.
Ooh, Ugarte.
I didn't even know about the Ugarte. 1973 to 1990.
1973 to 1990. I mean, he did cover the late 90s and late 80s and early 90s window that you spoke of.
Fully covered the Reagan presidency.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow.
Thanks, Reagan.
Yeah, thanks, Reagan. You
for all the resources,
Yeah. Go into a lot of reasons why Reagan sucked, but we don't need to go through that because this is fans football.
That's the next podcast.
Yeah, that's the Pat's history lectures off the cuff podcast. You know that. But
it won't really be off the cuff with that title, will it?
It might be off the cuff. It's kind of off the cuff. Well, it's not really off the cuff because you're right.
It really defeats itself.
It still will be off the cuff.
Unless you never talk about them.
Well, it'll be off the cuff because I will prepare not at all. I'll get in there, you ask me a question, and I'll give you a roughly accurate answer.
Can we get a visual aid of off the cuff, being that we only do the podcast in 3-piece suits with cuffs?
That would be fantastic.
That would be an interesting wrinkle.
We need video for that, though, because
all the reasons
it would defeat the purpose.
Yeah, and you'd want that. I mean, we'd still do it, and then we just talk about it ad nauseum.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe our graphic could be like a picture of that I would do in the beginning. But no, the thing I wanted to say was Ran, and then we can jump in. I assume we're live.
It's been a minute.
About 4.5 actually.
So, I mean, we are live. We'll get to football in a second, folks. I just have to say, and I hope that this lady does not listen to this podcast, and I highly doubt she does, because I don't think she has connections to anybody that anyone
But this is hot content. This is spicy.
This is a little bit spicy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roast her a little bit because she deserves it. Okay. There you go. Nice. Yeah, play me
You
in.
say spicy?
Play me in. That's
We just lost monetization. Thanks. That's how much it takes.
Oh,
Damn
shit.
Now George Michael's getting our money?
Hey, George
That's
Michael.
on a free soundboard, okay?
George Michael's a hers.
Pick up the argument with them.
Shit too, by the way. He defends his property. He defends his intellectual property.
Good for them.
Yeah, as you should.
As you should.
Get your money.
The man deserves it.
But anyway, every time I think of George Michael's, by the way, it always makes me think of Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah, because of the kid?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. But anyway, so all right, back to this. I go to get coffee. I've been up for like 30 minutes today. Right, I woke up, roll out of bed, brush my teeth. On my way to get coffee. I'm on my way to work. So I pull into the coffee shop, local here to me. Anyway, get in there. Pull up to the lady. She's all chipper, you know, like they always are at this one. She's asking me like a million questions, right? And you know, I don't want to do a podcast at the coffee stand. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my coffee. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a full-on interview while I'm getting my coffee.
No, I get it, man.
But I
How dare she?
appreciate them being
The
nice.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
God,
no.
name,
This,
so
I'm
we can,
getting
like...
to the point, damn it. Okay? So she's all nice or whatever, asking a few questions. And then I told her that I you know, that like what I was doing, and then I talked to her, like said my parents had been visiting like recently or whatever. She was just asking me like how I've been doing recently. And anyway, and then she's like, oh, like where did they come from? And I was like, oh, they came from Wisconsin, like that's where I'm from. And she's like, I think maybe I'm having a brain fart, but what is Wisconsin?
What?
And I was like,
what?
Okay. You what? Exactly. And at first I had she asked me what is like I'm not understanding. So I was like, oh, like you know Wisconsin, like that's like the state where I come from. Or whatever. She's like, where is that? And I was like, twice, 2 of them, back to back. And I was like, and then I was like, okay, so well, it's in the Midwest, right? She's like, yeah, like I don't know where that is. She's like, I guess I don't get out much, or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you definitely don't. But anyway, I was like, so I was trying to be nice though. She wasn't mean or anything,
like
right?
it.
She was just, no, I was not mean. She was just like...
Patty was just really excited about how mean he could be about it later.
Yes. Yeah.
I got very excited.
I'm going to roast you in front of my boys later.
Oh, I'm going to roast...
We're going to put this on the internet.
I've told this story.
My mom's going to listen to this rant.
That's right. And you know what? She deserves to get roasted. Because you know what, kids? Whether it's the school's fault, if part of it is your responsibility, you need to know where every state in your own fucking country is.
Oh, that's
you know
fucking
what I
If it
mean?
would have been any state besides Wisconsin, you wouldn't have a fucking opinion about it.
Oh, I'd have an opinion.
Yeah?
You need to know, like, listen. If I were to ask you a state, you might, like, if I were to ask you some random state in the Northeast, like Delaware, if you saw a blank map, I could see maybe you can't point to the exact one, but you know it's in the Northeast, right? Okay, if you don't know that Wisconsin is in the Midwest, we got a problem.
Oh, she knows about Delaware.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're thinking Wisconsin's like Arizona, like we got an issue. If you're thinking Wisconsin's Florida, we got an issue.
Yeah.
Like that's a
I
real
mean, to
problem.
be fair, this lady could live her whole life and not know where Wisconsin is and be just fine. So,
Other than the fact that anybody that talked to her about the location of Wisconsin and her not knowing it would then think she's a moron.
but then that's just caring about what other people think, and you shouldn't do that, Patrick.
That's fair. That's fair, but also you should know where a state is.
I can only imagine this barista talking to her friends tonight. She goes, and then I convinced this fucking idiot that I didn't know where Wisconsin was.
she's like, I was ripped
You
out.
should have seen the look on his face.
He really believes I didn't fucking know where
She's
Wisconsin
like,
was.
I was on like
South around the
50
corner
milligrams of
with
edibles.
Wisconsin?
I didn't even know where I was. I didn't even know what I was doing. And all of a sudden, this guy pulled up to a window.
Starts
started
talking about
to me.
Wisconsin.
He started asking about fucking coffee.
So I gave him, oh, yeah? What's that? And then I was like, oh, yeah? Where's that?
That really threw him
Then
for
I
a
had
loop.
him explain to me what a podcast was. Fucking millennials.
Ah, shit. Ah, she was what's the one behind us? That's a Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
one of those, as they say. But anyway, the
As you
last
say.
part.
That's not a saying.
That's not, no.
As
just
I
One
say-
of those.
You know what they say? Things exist.
Yeah,
One
that's
of
right.
those.
There you go. We're bringing it full circle. The last part of it, though, was... you better play it one more time. Talk to her.
Oh,
Nice.
That was him as he pulled away from the coffee shop.
I honked. Get fucked. No, the last part of it, though, was to put it in her mind where Wisconsin was. I said, do you know where Chicago is? Right. So the state that's above Chicago, that's Wisconsin.
Mm.
And then I think she's like, oh, okay.
And
I just told you yes, so you'd move along.
She's like,
So
"Get the
your
fuck
fucking
out of
coffee's
here."
done.
Chicago?
Do you need fucking change or what, dude?
I needed the fact that I used Chicago to reference my homeland.
No, wait,
Really
there you go,
bothers
Dave.
me.
There you go,
Really
Dave.
bothers me, Dave.
That's a win for you
The
guys.
fact that people know, the fact that one person
Mhm.
knew Chicago instead of Wisconsin, that hurts me deeply in my core.
I
That
think
makes
Patrick's
sense.
a closet Chicago fan. He's even named his fantasy football
There
team.
is something going on in your.
I don't know. I've been winning since I did that, so it's like kind of the average Jake effect, where it's like I don't know if I want to change it now.
So
because
just
we've
so we
been
can
crushing.
connect arguments here, the gods are favoring you because you put Chicago in your team name?
The gods are favoring me because I
Interesting.
shit on Chicago in my team name. They know that Chicago sucks.
Okay.
That's why they've made their franchise suck for so many years.
And they like to be
Still
agreed
better
with.
than Detroit, though, so I
They're
don't
still
wonder what
better
the
than
gods feel
Detroit.
about them.
That's fair.
Ugh,
They're still better than
gross. What a
Detroit.
shitty division.
Wasn't that the highest scoring, the Bears-Packers game, highest scoring one in you guys' history,
In
right?
the history, yeah. There was one point in that game where there was, I believe, 25 points or something scored in
The second quarter.
in 11 minutes.
The second quarter was
It was
nuts.
insane. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was long bomb, special teams touchdown, defensive touchdown.
Mhm.
It was crazy. There was 4 touchdowns back to back to back.
Do you remember that
Or-
Chiefs Rams game that was supposed to be in Mexico, but they had to fucking move it at the last second because the field was
Yes.
shitty, and then that ended up being the best football game of all time.
Yeah.
Man, what a game Mexico missed out on.
Yeah, I know.
That
Well,
greenskeeper hasn't seen his family. They're toast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of not to say it, but that's Mexico for you. You know what I'm saying? Screw up down there and you end up hanging from the bridge.
I don't know
You
what
I
you're
mean?
saying, Patrick.
Oh,
Please
could you
elaborate.
go on?
Well, what I'm saying is, Mexico, you fuck up, you get killed. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, pretty cut and
fuck
dry.
up, you fuck up something for the wrong person that wanted that thing,
Uh-huh.
you get killed.
Okay.
Because if you fuck it up and just some Joe Schmo wanted it from you, maybe he's gonna kill you. But you fuck it up for the cartel, you definitely get killed.
So then how much of a hand do you think the cartel has in the NFL?
In Mexico, all of the hands. They own everything down there. The cartel runs everything down there,
They
man.
do.
From top to bottom.
So you're saying somebody died then?
Perhaps.
Okay.
If you're some rich cartel guy and you're looking forward to this NFL game, maybe you're a big NFL fan, Screenkeeper fucks up.
And it turns out to be the best game
Yeah.
in regular season
You know?
history.
Maybe you're getting shot. You never know. They kill people for anything down
I
there.
need to rewatch that game again because it is
Wasn't
worth
that
it.
like 50 to 48 or something?
Something like that.
It was, I think it was.
Back
I think
when
it was 52 to like 58. Cause I think it was the first time in NFL history a team scored 50 and lost.
Didn't Mahomes throw like 6 touchdowns or something? I remember.
Well, there was I think 3 defensive touchdowns as well in the game.
Was that Chiefs? That was Chiefs.
Chiefs Rams.
It was Chiefs Rams.
Chiefs Rams.
Really?
The Jared Goff Rams. Yes.
Oh yeah. That
Back
that
when the
was the
Chiefs
year
were
the
good.
Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yes, it was, and
Yeah,
then they laid
Goff
a
is
and then
good.
they scored what, 7 in the Super in the entire goddamn Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
54 to 51 was the final of that game.
they got Belichick.
They did. He's still that good.
Yeah, it's fun to say Belichick. It's like a cross check in hockey.
It is.
You got Belichick.
And they do. Interesting stat that I sent to Jake earlier this week was, it was talking about Derek Carr and
Mac Jones.
yes, there was
Okay.
Mac Jones, but then it was David Carr and Kirk Cousins. I couldn't say Kirk Cousins. That was fucked up. But between David Carr and Kirk Cousins, each one of them since
David
starts
or Derek?
the one playing for the Raiders right
Derek.
now.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you. I fucked that up a lot on this
The
podcast.
I-line.
Eyelined Wonder
Yep.
that looks like an adult Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Him, yeah.
Uh,
Each of those quarterbacks, Mr. Carr and Mr. Cousins, have one game that their defense has held the other team to 7 or fewer points
In their career.
in their career.
wow.
And
Mac
Mac
Jones
Jones has 4 out of
first year.
13 starts.
Well, that's because Well, first of all, so Kirk Cousins in his career played for a terrible Washington team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is just, you could just say Washington team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Played for if we're gonna dead name them, when he was there, they were technically the Redskins, folks.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so sometimes
Patrick has an opinion about that.
when you're referencing
King Mr.
history,
Gruden.
you still have to use the actual name that team was called, and that's okay. Everyone. Okay, sorry to hurt all your feelings, but it's okay if it's a historical reference. Okay, we still talk about Adolf Hitler, even though he killed 6 million people.
Mr. Myers'
Allegedly.
opinions.
For the lawyers, for the Holocaust lawyers, allegedly.
What do you think our podcast is made of, dude?
What do you think our podcast is?
Yeah, our audience.
I don't care if you're tuning in.
It's
to
4
listen,
dudes.
you
Like, they
should
don't
know
give a
it.
shit about that.
Yeah. Hey, my mom listens.
Oh, that's right.
Censor
I'm
myself.
sorry. I forgot about your
I have
mom.
to censor myself.
I'm sorry.
Not
Mrs.
at all, because my mom knows how
I'm
crazy
sorry,
I am.
Mrs. Meyer.
Shit. So where were we going with that?
I don't know.
Also, Mr. Carr and Mr. Cousins, by the way, sounds like a fantastic sitcom. Can I just say?
Carr, Mr. Cousins.
Mr. Carr, Mr. Cousins.
Huh.
You know what I mean? That could be like a buddy comedy.
What would they talk
I mean,
about?
I
I'm
don't
down,
know.
man. Put on the script.
Eyeliner and failing in the spotlight? Perhaps?
They're both really good at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Fuck
Fuck your life.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders' defense is always bad. Cousins played with Washington when they had a bad defense, and Minnesota's defense hasn't been good since he's been there. So there's a story
But,
of
I mean,
that,
I don't know
Which
if
is
that's
weird,
the
'cause-
teams. I think there's just not having Belichick. Belichick has given Mac Jones 4 games. But didn't they just have a game we just watched during the podcast last week where he had how many attempts? 4?
Yeah.
The wind game in Buffalo. He had 3 passing attempts.
Yeah. Like,
Belichick-
he doesn't need to be there
Belichick
with
is
a coach like that.
he's the best at adapting to the situation.
Yeah.
Quick, he adapts quicker than any coach in the NFL.
Not just adapting, but the plan coming into it. You can tell
Yeah.
his players watch more film than any other team.
But I mean, there's a reason why they're always good.
Yeah.
And it starts at the top.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Because
Can't he get a fucking life though? I'm tired of it.
I
like try and coach college football for a couple of years or something like that.
Go coach baseball. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Go like
Away.
Go build the CFL.
Yeah.
know?
There you go.
Like,
They'd
get
listen. They'd listen.
They would.
They would.
Maybe we'd have a competitive league. Maybe we get some crossover teams, expansion. Maybe we have a Toronto team.
That'd be
NFL,
rad.
You know,
That'd be rad.
Do
I
whatever
still want to
else
see.
for it.
I still want to see a team in London. Like, but I want them to be like fucking good. I want you
It'll
to go.
happen.
I want you to go across the pond and like play in like a like. I want them to be like what Seattle used to be, like fucking dirty and it's always wet. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be a
There's no
cool
way to
fucking
make that
thing?
work though, right? To have one team that has to fly over an ocean.
Yeah,
every
you just
time they
can't
have an
fucking.
away
You just
game.
can't fucking.
Yeah, it would be tough.
You can't
The
fucking
over
do
the
it.
ocean thing would be tough. I could see there like in 100 years from now being an actual like European league.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's a potential where you could get some Canadian teams in, and you could potentially get like a Mexico City team.
Yeah.
The problem would be, like,
Those
I mean,
cartels again.
Exactly. The security concern around the game in Mexico would be kind of an issue. But I mean, they were already going to do it. So I guess the NFL is already like, we don't give a shit. We want the money.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of how the NFL rolls. So,
It's true.
I mean, it's business. That's how all business rules, right?
that's what the whole exactly. They're there to make money.
There's a rule. Make money.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's what they
It's
exist
the end of the rules.
They're a corporation at the end of the day. You know.
Ah, yes.
But anyway, I don't know where else. There's some other point I was gonna make, but
Yeah, we
should
can
should we hop
fade
into
away.
some matchups here?
I think we
should.
deserve it.
I barely paid
Do we-
attention this week, other than watching a few games because that's right. I had to buy. I didn't even have to care. Still put up 100
That's
104
good.
Points.
It's good that your Phantom defense had no one to defend because
Well,
Man.
speaking of defense, they didn't even play defense.
who would I want to play a game. Who would Patrick have lost to in the first round? He would have lost to. He put up 104.
Put up
102.
Good chunk there.
I think you'd lost. Sorry, I'll let you finish. I'll step on toes.
Me?
Yeah.
No, Cody.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
okay. Let's see. He would have lost to Average Jakes, who's got this week.
Okay.
That put up 124.
Perhaps.
Huge week in the
Perhaps.
playoffs. 124 in the playoffs.
Didn't play defense again.
Yeah, it's true. He didn't get to play defense. Allen got that fucking JT bye, so good for him. He was 62. You would have beat Bailey. You would have beat Bailey.
Well,
I was-
everybody but 3 people, man. So I don't know where this point's really going. To be
Three.
honest with you.
2 of those 3 people are in the playoffs with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
And one of them's Dave.
Yeah, but one,
and
one
one of them's Dave.
but one of them's you.
Oh,
and,
Todd
like,
would also
you're
snatched him.
not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
get-
Official last
What
man.
was Brent at? Okay, you got Brent. Ooh, wait, did you beat Dave?
No.
104 point. What was the other one?
104.02 to 104.22.
Also, Dave won by 2
By
yards.
yeah.
20 yards.
Definitely would have beat Dave, by the way. If I
You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have.
I would've
That's what
beat-
we're telling you.
But
I
you
would have
didn't.
beat everybody but you and Struzzy. Because I didn't play defense. I literally left the position blank.
All right,
think
so
I'm not
are we
getting 4
jumping into
points
the
out
winner
of the Eagles?
bracket, or should we finish with the winning bracket and get the losers out of the way?
Let's get the losers out of the way.
Cool.
Alright, so who are we starting with?
Let's start with our pod man himself in the top spot.
Officially
Yo,
eliminated. I noticed Erica just conveniently missed this fucking episode, so I couldn't give her the business.
She's puppy training. Alright, very
Yeah,
important.
it
puppy
sounds
training.
like a legitimate excuse, so I'm
She'll
just not
be
convinced.
here in like an hour, so she'll jump in and give her some smoke
Okay,
at the end of this.
sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm officially, with my par for the course, 88 points in a fucking week, eliminated from last place contention. So, like, cruise
There you go.
control for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll beat Dave this week just because it's Dave, and then
Sweet. Go.
Yeah.
There you go, right off into the sunset like next year. No
my
slacking
goal
for
is
you,
to
man.
keep Dave from getting that 7th place spot that he wants.
And you're gonna do that this next week.
Uh-huh.
So you
Okay.
can just call. He's like, I would if I got in the playoffs. I would have done it. Tell you what, man. I went on a hell of a run there at the end of the year against the worst teams.
God, you do one hell of a Dave voice, Patrick.
I'm pretty good, right?
Need more
That was
confidence.
pretty-
Need more.
You
more
need a
confidence.
little bit more bravado.
Yeah. I need a little bit more of that Chicago in there too. You know.
See, so I thought I just assumed I was going to lose one because Eric has a better roster than me, but also because last minute find out Elijah Mitchell not playing again. So I had to put Dontrell Hilliard in my RB2 slot, and he got me 13 fucking yards. It was
You
rough.
Yeah, you don't like that.
don't like that.
Tyler
But you got a
Lockett.
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett getting his mojo back just in time to
Keep you out of the sacco.
keep me out of the sacco. And Hunter Renfro has been a beast the last 7 weeks.
Monster. It's the only thing in Las Vegas that you want lately.
Yeah.
Is Hunter Renfro.
This is weird that that's the thing.
Again, it's.
Is he gonna get treated like that fucking tight end next year during the draft because of this stretch? Because this is essentially what we're seeing.
What tight end? Waller?
Yeah, like that late in stretch where like everything just goes to them and their floor is 80 yards for a month and a half.
He's a fantastic tight end. They've really misused him this year.
Well, especially when we get our half PPR next year. Like
yeah.
you
It's
see
gonna
the
be-
you see 12 targets to anybody, and you're like, well, there's an 8-point floor that we're working with.
He's like a
Sorry,
less-
half point, so 4. But
He's been like a less explosive Cooper Kupp lately in terms of the amount of targets he's taking, catches he's
Yeah.
getting. He doesn't have the after the catch ability that Kupp has, obviously, and he doesn't have the red zone ability that Kupp has. Like he doesn't have any of the things that Kupp have really, other than the target volume and the ability to run a smooth route because he does do that.
Well, he's effective. He's effective and he's efficient. He had 14 targets. He caught 13 of them this week for 117 and a touchdown.
His catch percentage is always super high. Yeah, there's not many targets he's not bringing in.
Yeah, you're right. The week before that, he caught 9 of his 10. Week before that, 8 of his 9, 4 of 4, 7 of 9, just every week.
The question is that I'd be interested to know is like he also a better comparison for him would be like Deontay Johnson. They're very similar. Deontay Johnson and him are both super effective from like 0 to 15 yards.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of down the field work, you know what I mean? But like you get 14 of those and then all of a sudden you got a couple hundred yards and one of them might happen in the red zone. You know, you run a little stick play or hook play there, you catch a touchdown, there you go.
well, ever since the Ruggs incident happened and they got Deshaun Jackson in there being the one stretching the field, he's had a couple games where they've targeted him quite a bit. But because Deshaun Jackson's on the field, everything underneath is open for Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, that offense. Everybody who was saying that, like in the fantasy community, was absolutely right. That offense has to have a field stretcher for the short yardage running game and passing game. To work,
Yeah, because it's just time to throw the ball in Vegas, and Mr. Carr's not doing a bad
Can we
job.
talk about them, like how they were getting roasted so hard all over TV after Yannick Ngakoue calls everybody out to the middle of the logo at Arrowhead? Did you see this?
No, I didn't see
Okay,
this.
before the game, the Raiders defensive end, 91, Yannick Ngakoue, calls the entire team for a pregame meeting on the KC, the little Arrowhead logo in the middle of the KC stadium, right? Pisses off like the whole KC team.
I didn't know that happened before they got absolutely punked.
They
Makes
got
sense. 48 to
annihilated.
9.
Michael Irvin and Stephen A were just eviscerating them.
Oh,
Like, how are you
man.
gonna call the whole team out to the middle of the field and then get stomped like that. Like what?
Jesus.
Like,
Yeah, that's a big move. You better put up.
They got punked for that
That's
one.
insulting.
And then another little nugget there. Last year, when they upset KC in KC and then did the victory lap around the stadium in their buses, remember that big controversy?
No, I don't.
It was a whole thing, right?
God, the Raiders are filth.
Yeah, well, it's the
we
Raiders.
knew.
What do you
They
expect?
are who we thought they were.
Yeah, exactly. John Madden built them into who they are, and they've continued to be who they are.
Man,
you know what I mean?
I do appreciate that.
And so
I like a good troll.
oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to have like a little team that's gonna be kind of shitty all the time. And do shitty things.
It's
fun.
true.
You gotta have one.
It's
know?
good character.
Exactly. And then so anyway, at the end of the game, as the Raiders players are like leaving and going to the locker room, they play over the loudspeakers. The wheels on the bus go round and around.
Oh, smokes.
It was
Oh, smokes.
yeah. Little taste of their own medicine.
I like that.
They didn't do that this week.
No, what I'm saying is KC played it as like, oh, you think you're going to circle our stadium when you beat us? Like, here's take some
Oh,
of
this
this.
happened this week?
Yeah, it's like we threw you under your own bus and we ran you over with it.
Ooh, and they
by
did.
Like 40 points.
And then reversed.
Exactly.
And then went forward again.
Yeah.
I bet that stadium was loud.
bet
The
it was.
whole game.
I bet everyone had
Oh,
a
yeah.
headache afterwards.
Oh,
I bet they drank a lot of bad beer.
pumpkin beer.
And
Gassed
well,
up a bunch of fans.
Probably still
Sounds
airing
like
it
that's
out
the thing
from
to
when
do.
we visited last. Let's be real.
There's a smog cloud like LA hanging over the stadium from your guys' pumpkin farts.
You know what I really attribute this win to over Erica is my boys Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott not doing shit.
Just suck. The defense single-handedly won that game. That's
Yeah.
Cody
Thank
knows.
you.
A few weeks
Just
in a row
annihilated
where
them.
Dak and Zeke
Yeah.
have significantly underperformed. I think
Yeah.
they're a huge part of why Erica ended up not getting that last playoff spot.
And the problem was Tony Pollard on the COVID list? Did he not play this game? What was
He
going
Had a
on
foot.
there?
He did
Had a
not
foot.
play, but yeah, it was not COVID.
Had a foot.
Was that a fascia thing? Was that what's going on? 'Cause I don't know if it was him or Clement that had that.
Don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Anyway, off the top of our head, we don't know, folks. But one of the two had a plantar fascia issue. Probably Pollard if he didn't play.
Yeah.
But it's really created a problem for Dallas because Dallas has been wanting to pitch count Zeke for the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, they did that with Corey Clement.
Yeah, they did that, but they can't really
not effectively.
can't really fully do it because
Yeah.
you could fully do it if you had Pollard healthy.
Say fully do it again.
Yeah, fully do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There you go. Do it.
Do it.
Like a Starsky and Hutch, right?
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Thank
deep cuts, folks. That was a fantastic movie. The cocaine scene, fantastic.
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, no.
What scene?
Do you remember the cocaine scene?
I don't.
There's a cocaine scene where Owen Wilson's character they find like the whole premise of the thing is that like the bad guys in the movie are like moving cocaine, but they sweeten it or something, like somehow they throw off like the lab tests or whatever, and then so like they get a bag of this cocaine from Will Ferrell's character, who's like the Hell's Angels guys, but he's like he's super into Ben Stiller and he's telling him to do spins and shit. It's hilarious. Anyway, they get a bag of cocaine off of him to like go identify, right? Well, they don't think it's cocaine because it doesn't test positive in the lab, right?
Yeah.
They think it's and it tastes kind of sweet, so they think it's actually just sweetener, and Will Ferrell was like fucking with him, right? So Ben Stiller puts in his coffee and gets just lit on cocaine, and then they go to the club and they do like a '70s dance contest. And Ben
I do
Stiller's
remember
just,
that.
like,
I do
killing it,
remember
right?
that. Yeah.
And then they don't vote for him. He pulls out his gun. He's like, do it again. Do the applause and do it again. Yeah. So, anyway. Off track a little bit. That's the type of day I'm having right now.
Thanks.
It's okay, man. It's entertaining.
But anyhow, where were we at? We were talking about the boys' offense kind of sucking. That makes you guys got to be a little worried heading in the playoffs. The way the offense is looking.
Not if the defense keeps looking like that.
Yeah, I'm not very worried.
Yeah, we got a bunch of NFC East teams that we're playing for the rest of our season.
I mean,
so.
I've been nervous
and
about
plus Arizona.
the
So-
NFC playoff
You don't need to
prospects
win that.
all season because it's the Buccaneers with Tom Brady, it's the Packers with Rodgers, who the Cowboys can never beat in the postseason. It's the Rams, who look like they can still beat anybody if they play.
Cowboys
the right
Rams
way.
would be a good game, though.
It would, and I don't want to see that.
I mean, as of right now,
Be a close
that'd be
game.
the first matchup.
Oh, yeah?
Because the Rams would be the top wild card spot, and the Cowboys would be the lowest of the 4 divisional winners.
It's true. So you get to see a lot of Zach Martin and Aaron Donald action. And that's kind
well,
of fun.
technically, right now, the Cardinals would be the top wild card because the Packers, I think, are now in the bye spot.
Sorry, when I say wild card, I mean the 4 people that win their division, and the next 3 I view as the wild card.
Yeah.
The contenders. If you will.
Yeah.
Contenders.
Challengers.
Well, it's just weird because they're all called. It's like they all play in wild card weekend now, but they're technically the division winners aren't wild
Yeah,
cards.
so they would get matched up that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the Cowboys would be the 4 seed, and the Rams would be the 5, so they would play against each other. Because they don't have a bye.
Mhm.
2 against 7, 3 against 6, and 4 against 5.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing there.
And I don't want the Rams. I mean,
No, I
so
don't.
the rest of the year,
Who
because
do you want out of that though? There's not really
The
easy
Redskins
pickings
again.
in the NFC.
The formerly known
you,
as-
you want
the Washington.
Do you think they're getting in though, or do you
No,
think
I
the
don't.
Niners are getting in?
as of right now, they're the number 7 spot.
Yeah,
I-
I don't think
but
that's
they
going to
might-
last
I think
because
it's gonna be the Niners.
they still have to play us again,
Yeah, but then
and
they play the Giants and the Eagles too. So I mean, it could. They
They
got some
could.
bad teams in there.
I guess I think that they're worse than the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean,
At
you
this
definitely
point.
don't want it with any of like the top
hurts me.
the top 6 teams though. You know what I mean?
I mean,
'Cause
if
the
you
NFC
want to
is
win it all, you
stacked
got to
at the
beat
top.
good teams, and
Yeah,
most of the and the great quarterbacks are in the fucking NFC this year.
and the super dominant teams are in the NFC this year.
Yeah.
There's not really one dominant team because like nobody had everybody has lost like several times at this point. Like,
And,
like,
they've
to
all
each
had
other,
bad
too.
games, you know?
Yeah, like the
So-
Rams beat the Bucks at one point this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bucks beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, Packers beat the Rams, Cardinals. They haven't played the Bucks.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully, I don't think we do play the Bucks, but the AFC, like the best, the top ranked team is the Patriots,
Yeah.
who are eminently beatable.
How do you
Yeah.
not play the Bucks? They each won their division last year.
What are you talking about? No, we I don't think we've played the Bucks this year. And I
But
don't
you
think-
do. You would have to based on how they
Is that how they do it?
Yeah, if each of
Let me
you
check real
win
quick,
your
and then we gotta get back to
divisions
matchups.
the next year, at least in the same conference, then you would play that.
For sure.
You play who you match up against, and then you match up against one entire division and then one AFC division.
All right, I'm looking here at the Packers.
Packers do not play the Buffalo Bills this season,
No,
the
no,
Bucks.
the Bucks. But no, they don't.
Tampa.
They
or the
don't.
Bucks.
They haven't, and they don't.
Did you guys not win your division last year?
No, we absolutely did.
Did the Buccaneers not win their division last year? Did the Saints?
The Saints might have.
Ah,
Because remember, the Bucks went on a.
that's right.
The
They
Bucks
played
sucked for a little while.
They played
and then-
Washington in the first round. They didn't get a bye or anything.
And the
like that.
Saints beat them one of the times.
Well, then they might have. Okay, so they might have been a wild card team.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
Because Packers played the Saints, and then who won the West last year? Wasn't it the Rams? I think it was the Rams.
I don't know.
Yeah, because we've played. I know we played.
I don't think it was the Rams.
We've
Rams
played
sucked last year.
Washington. We've played Washington, New Orleans, and we've played the entire NFC West this year.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, so you
So,
can't
yeah.
decide that one.
But let's try and get
Yeah,
back
let's
to
keep-
this
keep it
first
back on
matchup,
here,
so we're gonna
sorry.
try to knock some of these out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, how far are we in?
We're a half hour in, and we've kind of touched the first matchup.
We can blaze through a few of these, and there's also 2 buys, so we have a couple matchups that don't even matter. So
That's true.
Any other comments on this matchup, though?
I mean,
Carolina's sucking again. They lose to Atlanta. Who loses to Atlanta these days? Get it
Carolina.
together, Carolina. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And then you covered some of these other guys. Tyler Lockett apparently is 32 yards from his career high, even with how bad Seattle's been this year.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
That's
Heard
weird.
that today. He's just had some huge games.
He has. He's got 107. Those first 2 weeks, you remember that?
He's still the 12th receiver in all of
That's how
fantasy.
hard he smashed a few times.
His first 3 weeks,
The
he
ultimate
had
Tyler Lockett.
Absolutely.
just shy of
Yeah.
300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then went through like a 5-game stretch where he didn't do shit.
Surprise. Tyler Lockett doing Tyler Lockett things.
That's
Yeah,
weird,
right.
isn't it?
Consistency.
I don't know what
By
the hell's going on with
inconsistency.
Tyreek in a game. He scored 50 points and he's putting up 7. That doesn't really make a lot of
Well,
sense.
Mahomes doesn't look that great in that one either.
People are doing that double safety over the top, man, and just like, you will not beat us with Tyreek Hill mindset.
Because you
The
have
Raiders
to.
aren't though. The Raiders, it's been a big thing. Like why the Raiders haven't done that. The Raiders did not do that in either of their games. They gave up 40 points in both games.
Damn.
So
But not to Tyreek Hill.
yeah, not to Tyreek. A lot of it went to. Didn't Kelsey have a pretty decent game?
No, Kelsey didn't do shit either.
Well, I saw the running backs catch. some
Kelsey had
touchdowns.
27 yards.
Wow.
3 catches. That's it.
Also, Mark Andrews is tight end 1 now. He might finish his tight end one over Kelsey.
Man, this is the year of the bum tight end. Like the
So for Mark
whole
Andrews-
position. Really,
Mark Andrews has been very consistent, man.
Yeah, he is number one, by the way.
Yeah.
I will say this: I was feeling like I got cheated out of my George Kittle where I took him
Except
because
for Ridley.
he's tight end number 3
Yeah.
on the season, and
Just how many
he's
games?
done all that in the last month.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna have a time to have a hot tight end, hot sauce,
Hell
because
yeah.
I lost 4 in a row without it, and then he goes, "It's fine. I'm sorry."
Well, you go ahead and take down Allen, and then I'll beat your crippled team.
Really disappointed I'm not facing you this week.
I know, it's funny. You talked all that trash, and then we're not facing. But anyway, to wrap up Jake's team, my only other comments on his team. I mean, we covered Hunter Renfrow. I guess there's not really a lot there. Erica's team, the Bills look freaking lost right now on offense.
They do. They look bad.
I still get
They're
how
a
Erica's
dangerous
putting
in
up
the playoffs.
70 points with this roster because she's got all the names.
I know. Chubb didn't do much.
I got
Debo had a really light game for Debo too. That didn't help.
It's true.
She got a lot of points out of Green Bay too. I mean, she got 13. She got a defensive touchdown there. No really like terrible games other than out of Dak, but nothing to really like win a week.
No.
Was basically
Yeah.
what she
But if you look
got.
at the bench, no other options either. Like she fielded
No.
the best lineup she could. They just didn't perform.
She
I got
really
nervous
hosed.
because I announced that I was officially out of contention, and then I see she's still got a tight end. I'm like, okay, well, you'd have to score 5 times as many as he put up all year, and then he gets put out with COVID. So they put in Zach Ertz, and that name makes you a little nervous.
It
does,
does.
'cause
Well,
he could
especially in
do
Arizona's
20 points.
offense.
You know?
Yeah, he had a lot of plays that they were holding calls on.
Yeah.
He looked like he was putting together some momentum, and just everything got taken from him.
And I'm
Well,
okay
and
with that.
Ertz has had a couple games, I believe. Ertz had a 20-point game with Colt Winchester, Smith and Wesson McCoy, the Lone Star guy himself. But he hasn't done it other than that. But what were you gonna say?
Oh, I'm thinking that she also played a running back that wasn't
Shit.
in, but now it's her bench. Never mind.
She got screwed on the Jamal Williams COVID thing because Jamal Williams was going to be alone,
Yeah.
and that would have helped.
In fact, I picked up a guy in Detroit because of how much was going on there.
And he did nothing, right?
Nothing.
Yeah, they just didn't. I mean, it's Detroit. Like they got smashed by Denver. Denver's not a defense that you want to be trying to run on either. Anyway, you guys want to move to the next one?
Yeah, let's get this former champion Brant against Team Chaos matchup in, huh?
Congratulations, Dave. No Sacco for you, sir.
Yeah, got it on the legs of Mr. Melvie Gordon III himself with a big week coming back off the old hip injury.
Uh-huh.
You know, we don't like to see that with my Javante.
That doesn't make
but,
you feel good, does it?
Javante had 2 touchdowns too.
That's true. It was Detroit, though.
Was Detroit. Gordon's got a thumb sprain though. They say it's not likely to affect him, but we're hoping for a midweek injury for Mr. Gordon.
That makes 2 of us because I got to play that guy this week. So, I mean, Dave winning because of his defense. 19 points, Titans defense. And Melvin Gordon, I guess, but that was his saving grace. He only pulled it off by 4 points.
Oh, and Tennessee was playing Jacksonville.
Uh-huh. Both teams
That's
putting up 100, though.
Yep, and then, but the thing is here, I gotta say about Dave is like, what are you doing playing Terry McLaurin over Robbie Anderson, dude? Come on, dude. Like Robbie Anderson, I mean, just stud right there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're being facetious. I'm like, bro, we're going to have an argument here. Because no.
Terry McLaurin got concussed, but he played half that game and did not have a catch because Heineke was just getting so warmed every play.
That Dallas front looks nasty.
With all their guys healthy, that's a problem. That might be the best pass rush defensive line in the league.
I mean, Micah Parsons already got Defensive Player of the Year wrapped.
Pretty much.
He might be Defensive Player of the Year.
As long as he plays halfway decent the rest of the way and maybe
Uh-huh.
has one more good game, he's got it.
Has
For
to
sure.
finish strong, but yeah.
Tell him that stat about consecutive games that you saw.
Oh, it was that. So for like rookies, Javon Curse holds all-time record for consecutive games with a sack as a rookie, and it was at 8.
Oh,
And our man, Mr. Parsons,
beat
was
it,
there. Was at 6
wow. Okay.
before the game this Sunday, and
He had
made
3
good on
sacks,
that.
didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So
He had Almost 2 interceptions. I think he ended up dropping both. He had a forced fumble. He had, 2 or 3 sacks that game?
Uh-huh.
Forced fumble was a nasty hit.
It was gross.
He buried him.
Yeah. And that play, I remember, buried Bailey. I remember watching that. When that scoop and score happened, I'm like, and that's probably dice.
Yeah. And then many other turnovers. And then how about the play? Washington comes all the way back. It's this valiant effort. And then you have Kyle Allen in there. Just can't even like hold on to the ball to get a forward pass call. Just fucking, whips it out.
Sniper shots right out of his grip.
I mean, granted, he did have Randy Gregory all over him, but
that's a nasty man barreling down on you.
That was a Washington way to lose that game, though.
I'm just so glad that the NFL doesn't test for weed anymore because Randy Gregory on the field is a great thing. Yeah.
Did you guys have Robert Quinn last year too?
We did.
Because he's been looking real nice in Chicago this year too.
Mm-hmm.
With Khalil Mack not really doing much, Robert Quinn's been picking up.
And he looked good when he had a star in his helmet. He had a good year.
That line.
He led our team in sacks that year.
Imagine that line with all 4 of those guys. That'd be ridiculous.
It would be. It would look like, I remember at one time Robert Quinn was with the Rams and that was still when they had Michael Brockers and Aaron Donald on the line. I mean, at one point they had a 4-piece, and it was right before they left for LA. I think it was their last year, or either their first year in LA or their last year in St. Louis. Okay. They had a front 4 that was just nasty. Robert Quinn was a huge part of that. When he was in Dallas, I fucking loved that. I wish he'd get out of Chicago because they're terrible, and I want to see that man compete.
I think Chicago in a year or 2 is actually going to be pretty freaking good, man. To be honest with you, they got a lot of young talent that's actually kind of starting to spark lately.
Well, it depends on who they hire as a new coach, because it ain't going to be Nagy.
Nagy's got to be gone. But anyway, to get back into it, for Dave, got some decent play out of his Steelers, surprisingly. Even though Chase Claypool probably cost him 2 chances at the end of the game, because he pops up and sitting there holding the ball that they need to set on the line to run the next play, and he's pointing down the field showboating. They lose 5 seconds. You can run a play in 5 seconds.
It's true.
And
Ben was on one.
He was
on
that game.
Yeah, the second half
is a weird thing to say.
It is,
but you are playing the Vikings.
He found a 2-quarter stretch where he could do it again, and he almost did.
And Freiermuth almost tied him the game.
That's
true.
Then
he got smacked by Harrison Smith. One good player on that defense.
Well, he won the game.
He won the game for him.
Yeah.
So, that's what you're supposed to do if you're the best player on the defense. But,
any more about this matchup, though? Because, we got former champion racing, streaking his way to the Sacco.
Streaking his way to the Sacco. I don't think Brett makes the Sacco. Like, he's going to beat one. He's going to beat Trish.
Are you sure?
Beat these teams.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty positive because he's got Brady on a playoff push, and he's got Saquon actually doing things. Finally, the only problem here is James Robinson is getting Urban Meyered and benched, even though his quarterback is desperately crying and pleading, "Hey, can we get the one good thing on our offense on the field, please? Like, I don't care if he fumbles the ball. Like, get him on the field. Our team sucks." It's basically like what Trevor Lawrence was saying, and not so many words.
Not so many words.
Yeah, Brant is like the place where running backs go to die. Or just the team of backup running backs. Dearness Johnson, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift with his injury, Ramondre Stevenson, James Robinson now. Whole bunch of people that could be really fucking good and have had a couple good weeks.
He had a lot of his players have a turn for the worse in their circumstances. DeAndre Swift might be out for the year. Came out today. Might go on IR for the rest of the year. Because the Lions got their win, and so all they wanted to do is not go defeated, as you say, completely defeated.
The news that's showing for today said that Coach Dan Campbell is hopeful Swift will be able to play this Sunday.
The news I heard from a lot of other fantasy circles, like today, was that even though he said that, like it's
probably not true.
It's very possible that he goes on IR because what is Detroit playing for? They're playing for nothing. They got their moral victory.
They're playing to keep fans at this point.
No. They got their moral victory. Go get the number 1 draft pick at this point. That's what you want. Like,
he right.
You know, like,
I mean, but is Detroit smart enough as a franchise to do that?
Well, you say moral victory. Could you tell me this moral victory they got?
They didn't lose all their games.
They beat the Vikings.
Yeah,
Is that morally?
That's a moral victory.
They're not going to go over.
They're moral because they didn't.
They've
fall
done
into
that.
The evil waters of completely losing season.
Yeah,
that's a tainted pool, man.
it's true.
You
You avoid that at all costs.
That's right. You fall into that, dude. The dark one takes
more morale than moral. Then
I mean,
no. We'll call it moral.
Okay.
They would become an evil franchise. If they
Got it.
The NFL might have actually taken
where does
away
ethics come into this win over the Vikings?
We'll put it in there. Put it in there to help my statement. All right.
Okay.
It's nice that Kirk Cousins exists so that he can do that for the Detroit Lions.
It's true.
You need one of those every once in a while. Hey, thanks, Kirk. We talk a lot of shit, but you're all right.
But can we really put that on Cousins?
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
So.
I know that you did. But here's the problem.
So I think will we? Because can we just did.
Well, we can.
Kirk Cousins.
Okay, so let me rephrase. Will we? Because the defense gave up 30 points to the Lions. And you let Jared freaking Goff run a game-winning drive. Any team that allows Jared Goff to beat you in the last minute of a game, what are you doing?
I heard Kirk Cousins gets outdueled by Jared Goff. So.
Well, in the Vikings.
But then he outduels Aaron Rodgers. What happens?
Whatever it is.
Aaron Rodgers is true.
Kirk Cousins and the rest of that team. Not only one game this year that the Vikings, the final score was outside of one score.
Yeah.
Every single week.
The Packers
Bad
had a
team,
year
they
like
play
that
low.
past
Good team, they play all right, but they lose almost all of them.
That's because they have a defense that cannot close out a game.
It's true.
They'll get up by like 25 points.
They
and
just
then
get
which is what happened this week.
Yeah.
They give up 30 a week on average just by looking at this.
As soon as a team needs to get it done, the Vikings just can't. I don't know what.
I don't know.
Keep up. They can't adapt to whatever's in front of them.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is with them, but they can't just win a game cleanly.
Nah.
It always has to
It'd be different if Cook was healthy, like 100%, but that's never happens anymore. Their offensive scheme is so predictable. It's just, where's Jefferson on the field? Okay, cool. Don't have him. We got Thielen doing an 8-yard route trying to get open. That's it. That's all I got.
They are, well, I mean, they have a decent role player at tight end. KJ Osborne's not the dog is burying Cody's feet. The dog loves having guests. He's all over their feet right now. Anyway, Charlie the dog making a second appearance on the pod, folks. Anyway, what am I going to say here about the rest of this? What do you guys have anything left for Brent here? I mean,
Brant, don't get last, man. You're the champion. What the fuck?
yeah, don't get last, dude. But I really don't think he's getting last. He has some players that are playing really well lately. Brady, Evans, Higgins is playing super well lately. His problem, like we said, is that running back.
Tom Brady is the QB2 on the season.
He's putting up he's leading in pass yards, pass touchdowns, I believe, and total QB.
Can Tom Brady
He's having an MVP season.
get a fucking life?
He's had 1, 2, 3,
Get a
4,
life, but not be the
5,
best player
6
of all
weeks
time.
this year. He's got at least 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's basically the talk right now with all the talking heads in the NFL is it's Brady and Rodgers for the MVP right now.
Yeah.
Because Kyler hasn't been consistent enough.
He's not even in the running.
No, he's
Not at this point.
No.
Especially missing a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Episode 1 was as much as I saw that I was like, oh, it's clearly him. I thought it was good. I thought we were going to see a few of those.
Who else would it be? I mean, another if they would ever give it to anybody but a quarterback, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp right now, by the way, and for fantasy, I was just reading this because I get these little emails from. I'm a nerd. You guys know that.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to say,
I'm a
fucking
huge nerd.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically the highest average, like per game average of fantasy points over the course of a season was Jerry Rice, who scored 25.88 over a 16-game season. That's the highest mark. Right now, Cooper Kupp is at 25.8. And also another stat, in PPR leagues last year, Devontae Adams led all wide receivers with 341 points throughout the whole year. Cooper Kupp has 356, and we're in week 14.
Oof.
Yeah.
Schmokes.
He's having like a legendary year.
It's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
Yeah. You like hearing them stats when he's on your team, don't you?
Oh, sure do. Because I felt bad about my Cooper Cup pick because it robbed me of the quarterbacks. And man, talk about something to soothe that little.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, QB 1-2, right? Aren't they? Rodgers probably isn't 2, but if Tom Brady is 2, Tom Brady was like the 8th quarterback off the board. You know what I mean? I think he went.
Aaron Rodgers' is quarterback 7.
Quarterback 7. Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
He went where
he's
right
not
when he was
there.
drafted.
Tom Brady was drafted in the 8th round.
Yeah, and he's quarterback too. You know, again, that's why you don't take a quarterback at the top of the.
You don't fucking do it.
No. Anyway, because there's always
do it every year.
There's a Tom Brady in the 8th round.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Anyway, anything else we need to say about this? Good win for Dave, not being the Sacco. We hope Brent doesn't be the Sacco, but, you know, the interesting storyline going from champ, you know, first to last. The old Ricky Bobby, as we call it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how this league goes, right? Nothing's for certain. It's
true.
It's competitive.
It's true. And, you know, he just got submarined with a horrendous year out of Saquon with one of his early picks, and then Judy being out for a long time.
Saquon's washed.
You know, some of his other ones. You just saying that because you're a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
Saquon with a decent offensive line will be just fine.
And I'm saying they're not going to get them a decent offensive line.
I think Saquon probably moves on from there then. To be honest, if I'm Saquon, like, get the hell out of New York, dude.
Yeah.
Like, go play for a team that wants to put an offense. Go play for Cleveland.
Well, do it now
You know what I
because
mean?
you know how short the running back lifespan is,
It's
especially
true.
when you've already had a major injury.
2 major injuries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
those wheels are gonna fall off.
well, they're currently falling off, but he had a decent week this week, so that's good.
They
for
patched the hole for this week.
him. Yeah, that's right. Found some Flex Seal or whatever that product is, right?
That green slime shit.
No, that's that black stuff where the guy sealed a bunch of glass pieces together, put it on.
What about
Puts
the
it in
the
like,
boat?
like a baking dish and it turns into a rubber mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How long did that take?
Yeah. Anyway,
Any other
what they
comments?
don't show you is after the commercial ended, that glass like boat that he built just disintegrated, and he got all wet, and then he was cussing out his whole staff. That's exactly what happened right after that ended.
That guy just looks like a racist.
that guy looks like he
Patrick's
belongs.
not defending him then. To be clear, is that the dog's butthole I'm smelling or is that Cody's?
Oh, it's probably the dog's
It's
butthole.
not mine.
Okay.
Dog eats a lot of bones.
I
these
did
days,
put real
and
milk in
it's
this
a good
milk
form.
I know you have some dairy. So.
But no, I'm farless.
Okay. God damn it, dog.
Farless in Seattle.
Thank
you.
you.
Anyway.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Hey, we're just throwing them out there, you know?
Uh,
Nice. Soundboard, you gotta love that.
All right, let's jump into the last loser bracket one.
All right.
Between the Martins, two people still very much in contention for the
The old
Sacco.
Martindales.
yeah, those two might face each other in the Sacco Bowl. Hey,
Well,
thanks
they
for
can't-
joining the league. Appreciate your money.
They can't be in the Sacco Bowl because Todd won.
But if Todd loses,
Todd
this
loses
week,
next
he
week, he's
goes
in the
right
Sacco
back
Bowl.
into last for the third round. There's
So
three
how
rounds.
are you out of it? Because you're the higher seed.
Look at
So
just look at it.
The way it's
I don't want to look at it.
Just
I'm-
look
I'm
at
not-
it.
I'm gonna tell you now. There's a ladder. There's 3 matchups. If you're at the top and you win, you stay at the top. If you're the bottom and lose, stay at the bottom. Other than that, if you win, you go up to the next tier. If you lose, you go down. So since I won, I stayed in the top. If I lose, I can only go down 1,
I see.
and the bottom one would be 2 below.
So basically, if you get to that top rung of the ladder in the second round, you're clean.
If
So-
you win
I see.
in the
There-
second week,
Yeah.
you're clean.
There is
I
a
see.
seeding element that comes into play with it. So if
Yeah.
you if you come in as a 12th seed or the 11th seed,
Yeah.
you have to win 2 of your 3 to not get it.
You don't have to
Unless-
win 2 or 3. You just
So-
have
so
to not
Most
win.
likely, you need to win 2 of 3 unless you happen to get that second round win.
Yeah. You could lose everything and win the last week. That was
Yeah.
what Cody said.
If you're in the 7 or 8 spot,
Or
you
even-
have to lose 3.
See,
Or
in a
you
row
could
to
even
go.
lose
I'm
2 out of
sorry.
3 and win just the second round and be fine.
and, I apologize as the commission. I don't know these things, but we do a lot of winning over here. We don't ever find ourselves in these predicaments.
You
where-
stroked your
you know what I'm
hair to
saying?
say that.
Oh,
Hey,
you did. I wish
they
you could
said-
fucking
You
see
stroked
it.
your hair twice
Like,
underneath
those
that
locks
hat.
back and revel.
You
and
hid your
the
bald
old-
spot with a hat today and then stroked
Hey,
your
we
hair?
Hey,
Are
we
you
don't-
fucking kidding
We
me?
don't do that just with pot. We hide that bald spot every day with this hat, baby.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I am that guy who hides you with a hat, though.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you
wishful
did it.
thinking.
You did it. Unbelievable. I wish I was giving you the smoke this week. I'm so disappointed that I have to beat Allen first. I'm actually rooting for you in a weird situation because I was saying how you're going to lose the first round of the playoffs for so long, and now I'm in this weird fucking position where I actually don't want that to happen because I want to give you this fucking smoke. I want to do it in person. I want to make it a personal thing.
Man, Cody gets one good week and he's all hot on fucking piss and
Your team's
vinegar.
been crumbling.
Where's this been for
weeks
7 weeks?
It's been with Taysom Hill. Now that he is on my team and I'm finally locked in at quarterback, there is no more losing. We are in the money rounds.
You said locked in at quarterback with Taysom Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Just show the starts.
And who does Taysom play next week?
The Jets?
Plays the Buccaneers.
No, the Bucks. That's right.
So
He's gonna be running for his life. I don't care. You lose the game. Run for 100 yards. I don't give a shit.
Then you work out. You have Devin White chasing him down. He ain't getting away.
That's good because all of his stats are coming on the ground. Oh my god.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I don't think he's running for 2 rush touchdowns against the Bucks. Though.
I don't think he's gonna get in the end zone, but I think he's gonna get plenty of yards.
Maybe he might give you a solid 15 next week. I don't think he's giving you like QB1 numbers though.
Yeah, but you heard it locked in at quarterback with
he's going to be the guy,
which is surprising.
Yeah, love it.
Like anyway,
oh my god,
I don't even think you're making it to the finals.
Who's Godwin Igwabuki?
No longer on my team. Gaskin and Henderson are back.
That's worse than the fucking Boone pick that was on Dave's. I was gonna put a whole list together.
Is it?
It's
worse than a fullback.
It's
no,
the
Boone was
second worst play of the year, only above Kyle usage. Let's be
real. Yeah,
because he's not even running back, so he can't.
So I have tailbacks. To be clear, that's the worst play of the year.
Probably the worst play of the year.
There are some people that got 0 this week. I'm sure.
No.
In a starting roster.
For running back.
There's been some gooses at running back for sure.
There's been
some evidence with that.
Well, I'm gonna have to. Ooh, Kareem Hunt, 1.8, got close.
Ooh, that's
got close.
Roughly 4 times what you got from Godwin.
There's been a couple though for sure at running back from injury and other reasons, I would imagine. But 0.5 is that's
about as bad as it gets.
Pretty low bar there.
All right, let's jump back into this loser bracket one before we keep commenting on the winners. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So the Martins. Josh Allen. We mentioned the QB2. Josh Allen's the QB1.
Josh Allen played real bad, then played real good.
Trisha's the best quarterback in the league, and she's going to come in last place.
Well, that's what happens when you have no running backs.
That's exactly true.
No running backs at all.
And you have a lot of underperforming top-level talent.
Although she had Rashad Penny on the bench this week. She played him. She wins.
Well, that hurts, doesn't it?
No, maybe not, but damn close.
26 and the wide receivers that performed are all on her bench. She had OBJ, Brandon Cooks, AJ Green, all outperformed her starters, all on the bench.
Yeah, she could have won that game. But I mean, that game was kind of irrelevant because either of them lose this next week. It's right back to Sacco.
OBJ's starting to look nice out there now.
Damn right.
If Todd played the Chiefs defense, he'd have put up 130 points this week.
Got the win.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, the Chiefs freaking stopped them, huh?
Oh, man, the Raiders. The poor Raiders.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Raiders.
No one cares about the
Raiders. Except for Steve.
Yeah, well, he's not even in the league anymore, so we shit all over him without any consequences.
Accurate.
But anyway, DJ Moore, second best wide receiver in Carolina, as we know. Anyway, DK Metcalf also second best on his team.
Yeah, it was.
True.
You know, just playing a lot of runners up over here on the old Damn It Daniel team, which I think is a fantastic name, by the way.
Good name.
I mean, Dawson Knox has been good for her all year. Did she draft him or did she pick him up? I don't think he was drafted.
Scooped him up off the waivers, I believe.
And he's been great. Tight end 4 on the year.
He's going to get drafted next year.
Absolutely.
He's going to be
right in the middle
of the first 3 rounds, the way our league goes.
He's going to be in that Tunyon zone. He's going to be the Tunyon next year. That's what I think.
So he's going to be a huge disappointment?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be this guy who had a big year, and so everybody hypes him up, but he only did it once, so he has an eminent potential to bust.
Yeah.
Because there's no proof in the play.
That's fair. I think that's kind of an easy call.
Yeah. So, what else to say about Trish? Well, the problem for Trish this week, right, is she didn't have Jalen Hurts, her man. You know, she would have.
Yeah, she just had Josh Allen putting up 35 instead.
Yeah, well, we all know Hurts would have put up 45 if you listen to Trish. You know what I mean?
Oh God,
that's true.
That's
I'm surprised she never moved one of them. Like
I'm surprised at a lot of things that have happened in our league this year in terms of people moving and not moving things.
It's true. She never got a running back, and she's got 2 top 6 fantasy quarterbacks on her squad.
It is odd.
Well, hopefully this year teaches people about like trade capital. And like what can be done when you have valuable players that you don't need.
If you got 10 points of value on your bench that you can never play, maybe
Shit
trade
up.
them for 8 points that you can.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, you want to go talk about Todd's team now?
Yeah, we can continue this episode of high-handedness. Let's go.
Of which Martin will come in last.
Huh.
It sounds like a game show, right?
It does.
Which Martin will it be? Anyway.
Price is wrong, Trish.
The score was wrong. Herbert having a good week, as he has been doing lately.
QB3 on the year.
He had an absolute bomb again. He's had another set. He's had 3 touchdowns, I believe, this year, where he's thrown the ball in the air over 60 yards.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he got a big can on him.
Got a can on.
He does.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch that dude play.
He hit Jalen Guyton.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. He was. I didn't play any DFS this week because I wasn't paying enough attention. But one of the guys, I was toying with it on Sunday, and I was thinking about playing Jalen Guyton.
2 weeks in a row, he's got about 90 yards and a touchdown. And
He's
nothing
very
else
fast.
the whole rest of the year.
He's very, very fast, that guy.
That guy.
Dead gay.
That fucking
gay.
guy.
Alvin Kamara, nice to see him back having a game. He was going to do it against the Jets, so that'd be the easiest. That'd be the lock of the week.
If he didn't,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true.
That's like one of the safest. I think we called it the last week or something when we were talking about it, because I thought we were talking about this matchup. We were saying Alvin Kamara was playing the Jets, and he's going to crush them.
It's true.
He puts up 20 points against good teams.
Yeah, everybody scores in the Jets. Like,
Yep.
It's been that way all year long. Jeff Wilson, you want more than 5 points out of him, but Elijah Mitchell was playing in this game, right? Or did he not? No,
He did
Elijah
not
Mitchell
play.
did not.
He did
But
not play.
JaMychal Hasty did, so he split work with him, I think.
One note on Todd's team, his 5th round pick, Kyle Pitts did not make the starting lineup this week.
Yeah, and that was the right call because Austin Hooper caught the touchdown. Austin Hooper, who has been a pooper all year long, has not done anything, finally scored a touchdown for Todd. Hey, we're throwing the ball out there. We're just throwing the ball out. It's scattershot.
I thought for sure that he was going to use the fart sound. There it is.
Hooper the pooper.
Oh,
what was that one? Go back to that one.
Oh, no.
Okay, I can redo it.
Oh, no.
Nice. Also out in LA, I was just talking about OBJ, the other guy that's starting to be more consistent. 3 games in a row with a touchdown. Mr. Van Jefferson Jr. game show host himself. I mean, that sounds like it. Van Jefferson, that sounds like a game show.
Sounds like a 70s rock band.
You know what? That's better.
Mm-hmm.
It's comedy. Van Halen, Jefferson Airplane. That's
Van Jefferson.
Jefferson Starship is what it's called, right?
Yeah. I mean, the airplane and then Starship.
Yeah, there you go.
It was the same.
I put 2
band.
more of them together,
It used to just be Airplane. They had 3 band names, and they just,
What do
you do?
Anyway,
It used to be Airplane, just make that up?
No, it was Airplane, then Jefferson Airplane, then Jefferson Starship.
That was just the progression of all of the acid that they did.
Of all the ass.
They started off normal, and then they just randomly threw Jefferson in there for no fucking reason.
I mean, surely,
and then
like,
you know what? We're Jefferson fucking Starship.
No, it
after
was
the
just,
third acid trip.
it was Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and then just Starship. I had that fucked up.
Starship,
Yeah.
Well, there ain't no airplane.
No,
yet.
there was no airplane. It was just Starship. I was going back in time instead of
I
forward.
was thinking of the old Leslie Nielsen movie.
What?
Yeah,
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, exactly. You never seen that movie?
Nah.
Oh, dude.
Nah.
Are you serious?
That's the line. It's like, surely you must be joking.
I've definitely
God.
seen a bunch of these clips.
Don't call me Shirley.
Right. But
Is-
I've never sat down and watched the entire movie.
There's
Oh, I've
also
never
a funny
seen
scene
it.
with a blow-up doll in it that's amazing as well. Like it's
I like the
just-
one where they line up and they slap the person, and the nun
Yeah.
comes out of there and just gives them the business. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. That and the what, Police Academy or whatever was it, those other movies that he had where he was like a cop. He's like
No, that wasn't Police Academy.
No, it wasn't Police Academy. It was when he was like a dipshit cop kind of like.
It's a name that sounds like Lethal Weapon.
It's O.J. Simpson's in one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's The Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun.
There you go.
It is. There it is. We got it. We always love a Naked Gun reference. Anyway, what else do we got here for Todd?
Let's get out of this matchup.
Let's back out.
We got
here.
all the way to Naked Gun because we didn't want to talk about the Martin versus Martin matchup. That's what happened to us.
We've been spinning our wheels in a lot of directions here with the losers matchups. There's a reason for that.
It's true because we just don't care.
We don't give a shit.
We don't give
How
a
about
fuck
that?
about you fucking losers.
I only care who gets last because I want to laugh at you.
Yeah.
So I'll pay attention to the last week.
Excellent news.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2 weeks, Martin.
That's right. Oh, shit. All right, which one of the actual relevant matchups do
Let's
will
jump.
beat
Let's
some
jump
of you, bud?
into Cody Bailey,
All right.
the Reckoning.
Ah, yes.
The Reckoning won, shall we say.
That's it. That felt good.
Yeah.
That felt real nice. And seeing my boys do it on defense, man,
Okay.
right
Yeah.
off the key.
The question is, the Reckoning 1 could just be called the Reckoning, right? Because it's the intro to the series. What do we call the Reckoning 2? Because you got to have a tagline. The sequel.
Well,
can't
I
just
mean,
It's
you
the
could-
butthole. It's always the two.
there, Reckoning 2, Return of the Two.
I'm a big fan of the cliche,
Enter
the
the
Reckoning
Two.
Part
Enter the
2.
Two.
It's called Electric Boogaloo. You know, like
Okay.
I think the more that joke gets used, the funnier it gets.
It's
I think
fantastic.
it only goes
Another
up.
trademark.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Hey, dude, we're off.
You get a phone
our,
call from Charlie Day.
we're getting demonetized. Always Sunny's coming after that. money.
Demon.
D-
Did
I
we
mean,
get start
well-
monetized?
Hey.
No, I mean
We're getting
they
10
can't
cents
claim
a pod,
that.
dude.
Boogaloo's been everywhere.
Hey. Yeah, you're right. But you know, whatever.
Where did Boogaloo start?
I don't fucking know.
Electric Boogaloo. Origin story.
Didn't
Let's
Boogaloo
go.
start with Ringo Starr? Didn't he make a song about he was talking shit to Paul McCartney because Paul McCartney was saying something about like Ringo Starr's musical career, and I believe that the song was a shaded shot at Paul McCartney. Pretty sure. Pretty sure it's a Ringo Starr Boogaloo song.
According to the New York Times, the movement originated on platforms like Reddit and 4chan and Facebook. It's an inside joke from the 1984 cult classic film titled Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
So Breakin'
Okay.
2 was the original.
Uh-huh.
All right then.
But also, Ringo Starr had a song where he went, "Back off, Boogaloo." I said, "Back off, Boogaloo." You never heard that song?
No, keep going. I might
Here you go.
remember.
I'll play it for you. I'll give you here. We'll definitely get demonetized now.
Oh man,
All right,
do we,
here we go.
I don't
Hold
need
on.
to sit through this.
Hey, come on. No,
Ringo
we're
Starr made it.
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna give you
least
some Ringo Starr.
talented Beatle.
gonna- Hey, dude.
We're making time. We haven't.
Somebody's got to bang on the drums.
Where's our George Harrison?
Here you go. Here's a little. Here you go. We're cutting in some Ringo Starr. Yeah. It's got a Ringo feel to it.
I didn't think this
Yeah.
was gonna happen.
Look at
tonight.
him. Look at him. It's just him with a mullet just walking around looking kind of dumb like he's wont
Okay.
to do.
Well,
There you go, folks.
well.
Know your Ringo Starr. Anyway. I'm going to get a lot of those.
You are.
Oh,
that one's
man.
just for you.
All right, Cody.
Yeah, tell us about your locked in lineup here.
Yeah,
Huh?
locked in Taysom Hill.
I mean, yeah, because what else is going on? You know, look at the other options. Russell Wilson had a good day. Got
He did
got
have a good
outscored by Taysom Hill.
And Matt Stafford. So, yeah,
Yeah, so
you know,
winning that matchup, loving it. Waiver wire quarterbacks always feels good.
winning it, loving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cody's tagline.
Loving it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire scored more points than Austin Eckler. That feels good.
Yeah.
That feels really good.
Caught a lot of passes, right?
2 touchdowns.
Two
Uh,
touchdowns will do it.
Yeah, those are both
there you
rushing touchdowns even.
go. Oh.
Yeah, he ran both of those in.
Darrell Williams caught the pass touchdown.
Yes, he did.
And then Gore had a 51-yard run way late in the game. When
Can we
it didn't
get
matter.
Gore the fuck out of here?
No
We
shit.
already have not enough work to go around for one guy. And
Right.
you put 2 guys, then we're throwing some fucking Gore guy in there. We don't need
And
him.
he's just getting 51
Just
touch
get him the
on,
fuck
on,
outta
on
here.
2 carries.
Yeah.
Like, excuse
the
me,
fuck outta
sir.
here.
He's doing the old.
I would like the garbage time, please.
He's doing the old Gus Edwards.
He
you
is,
know?
and no one appreciates it.
Yeah.
No one appreciates it.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, so I had to start this name that I...
Igwe Buike.
Igwe
Buike. I believe.
Buike.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't have to pull that again because, I mean, look at it. James Conner doing all the things that I hate about James Conner does.
Yeah.
But the number one fantasy receiver in all the land, historically,
As we said.
continues doing his thing.
Yep.
And George Kittle is tight end 3 like I drafted him, and he's doing it at the best part of the season.
Yep, he's being George Kittle. He had some crazy catches in that
He
game
did.
again.
He
that
did.
one where he went up about 3-4 feet in the air.
That was a great
and
game.
Snatched that right off the defender's tips.
I'm glad that San Francisco has remembered that he's the best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
All around.
It's true because they just wanted to not use him for a while.
San Francisco's gonna be a dark horse team in the playoffs.
I think you'll be right.
They're gonna be real because they got
If they
such an
make it,
effective running.
You're right, but
they'll make it.
They might make it.
Yeah,
They
they've been
might.
winning a lot lately.
I mean, I think they're better than Washington, and so
absolutely.
I don't know what they're. Here, let's look at who they got to play the rest of the season.
Yeah,
They've got Atlanta, Tennessee, Houston, and the Rams. They
definitely
should win
going
3 out of
2-2
4.
minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're probably winning either. They're probably beating everybody but the Rams.
yeah.
Yeah, and they might be the Rams.
And it might be
too.
the Rams because it's in the
Yeah.
division, and that's just weird shit.
But also, you never know. Tennessee wins weird games, even though how banged up they are.
I could see San Fran losing to Atlanta.
You want to put some money
I don't
on that?
think so, man. Yeah, I'd love to put a bet on that.
I'm not saying that I think they will, but I think that there's.
You think it's more likely than what we're projecting?
Yeah, I think there's a 1 in 3 chance they drop to the Falcons.
I think there's a 5% chance they lose that game. Because
I'm
you want to
somewhere
know
around
what
10.
you want to know what I think happens is that Kyle Shanahan comes in. First of all, Kyle Shanahan knows the Falcons. He's coached there for a long time,
Yeah.
and literally designed their offense, which they still basically use,
Mm-hmm.
right? They, I mean, that's probably not accurate. They have a different offensive coordinator, but you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
He's familiar with the team. Okay, he's familiar with the pieces that they have, even though some of them have changed. He knows Matt Ryan. Is
Yeah.
my point. But anyway, he comes in there. They have a killer pass rush. Nick Bosa didn't. I think Nick Bosa maybe had a sack or two, maybe, but apparently had his best pass rush win rate of his entire career. On 50% of his rushes, he had what was considered a win against the offensive lineman.
Mm.
So he's smashing. He's in good condition. He's coming in. You think Atlanta's keeping him off of Matt Ryan? I don't think so.
I don't.
And then you have Kyle Shanahan's going to come in and be like, hey, we need to win to get in the playoffs. What is Atlanta bad against? Running the ball? Oh, yeah, we're just going to run the ball down their throat. I think that's what happens.
I think San Francisco's a better team than the Falcons, but I think that half the year this year they've underperformed. So it's not like
True.
they're living up to potential every single week.
I do
their
think they
defense cannot pass
They
interference.
have exactly one more win on the season than the Falcons do. So they're not that much better.
I think they're coming together. I think they're on the uptick.
That's what I think. And I think the Falcons are on the downtick. They can beat a terrible Carolina team that's even on a worse downtick. Who apparently, Carolina, after starting the year, their record is 2-8.
They were awful. Apparently they needed to keep Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Sam Darnold is the answer.
Clearly.
Matt Rule might get fired.
No.
I think he's a good coach. They're talking about he might get fired.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
He's their best asset.
Exactly. He's a good coach.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway,
Surely not.
it's possible.
Give the man a quarterback. He'd be all right.
They let Ron Rivera go. Ron Rivera's a good coach too.
Ron Rivera had his fun and it was time to get out.
Showboat Ron, huh?
Yeah.
Riverboat Ron.
No, call him Showboat Ron.
Yeah, he's a big showboater.
Yeah,
Ron.
yeah, everyone knows it.
Really known for his
Super
gregarious
flamboyant,
behavior.
just over the top.
It's so not.
He's
what
earned
is.
it.
Fucking Ron Rivera. Ron Riviera.
Nice.
Get out.
KJ Osborne did we need him to.
Hey, it always feels good just looking at the flex players available. Just looking at that list for hours and hours and knowing that one guy is going to catch one ball that's going to make a difference.
Yep.
And I just happened to get that guy.
There's two this
and
week.
I got to see it on Thursday.
Both you and Todd got it right.
Yeah.
With the Guyton and the Osborne.
It's true. So.
Osborne. I was when I saw you playing him, I was like, you know what? If you're gonna make a call, that's a good call to make
That's how I
because
felt.
Minnesota is a very narrow target tree.
Mhm.
It goes to their top 2 wide receivers, and then it goes to the running backs, and then a little bit to Conklin. That's it.
Yeah,
They don't have 5
It's
guys.
been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
It's predictable.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it seemed like an easy play as far as what was available. I was actually pretty close on Jameson Crowder. How did Jameson Crowder end up doing?
Crowder. Braxton Berrios was the one that got the target uptick.
Did he?
From Corey Davis is out now. Elijah Moore is also out for the season now.
Really?
It's very little. I don't like doing this heading
No,
into next
Jameson
week
got
in case
sick. No,
one of you dorks needs somebody to throw in your flex, like maybe Cody. Braxton Berrios got 10 targets with both those guys being out.
Every time you do that, you preface it by saying, I don't like doing this, but then you do it anyway.
Well,
So
you know
one
what?
of those things is not true.
I'm here for the people, and part of the people is my league mates.
So you don't like being here for the people, to be clear, though.
I don't like being here for people, but I'll show up for the people.
Well, goddamn
anyway.
it, I'm here, okay?
You know what I mean? I'm kind of like a Ned Stark. He didn't like going south for the people, but he did it anyway.
He died season 1.
Hey, he went south for the He went south for the kingdom.
And it got him killed.
Exactly.
So stop it.
Well, it's fair, but
You know, they're about to
counter
play-
arguments.
Here's the-
yet
they're about
I
to
keep
play
winning,
Miami.
so I'm like the anti-Ned Stark in a way. You know what I mean? Like we just
No.
don't lose. You know, so it's just
The
it's
anti-Ned
odd.
Stark, so like the antithesis of everyone's favorite.
You call me John Stark because he's the one that
This is
loses sometimes, but in the end wins. How about that?
You mean Jon Snow?
I lost
Yeah, Jon Snow.
my breath.
We'll call him
listening to
John
that.
Stark because he always deserved to be
Patrick
Stark.
Snow. You bastard.
Yeah, that's right.
Patrick
That's
Snow.
right. Call me Patrick Snow because in the title you'll be calling me bastard.
Because it's a lot like Patrick Starr, and he's retarded.
Yeah, but you know what?
And I also want to see him get stabbed by a sword like 8 times. Or whatever.
And then be resurrected in the final just to win and chop off the queen's head.
Yeah, I mean, you're favored by the gods. It would hold with your bullshit argument.
Hey, it
All you have to-
all ties together.
All
see
you
what
have to
they
do is
did?
beat an average team. Can you do it?
I mean, he's anything but average lately, by the way.
I mean, it's in the name.
He's averaging. If we're talking about averaging, he'd be averaging 110 points a week.
Are we moving on to that next playoff
Oh,
matchup?
hold
Or
on.
are
No, we gotta
gonna say
cover
about
Bailey.
Bailey? 'Cause
Let's
we're getting all over the place.
let's cover that. Bailey only needs to hear one thing, and it's James Conner was a good pick, and your team still wasn't good enough. Suck my dick. That's it. It's over. It's over. You're out of the
There it
playoffs.
is.
You're out of the playoffs.
Probably the
You're
best
gone.
best running back setup of anyone, and just got Dallas.
Yeah, maybe
Got Dallas,
She
maybe
still put up a good week, 103, but
but not good enough.
playoffs, you need great weeks.
you need great weeks. You need great weeks starting 2 receivers on the same team. I don't care if it's in Dallas. Get out. Get out of my playoffs. You're not worthy.
She got Dallas, and you know what she got? She got Ricky Seals-Jones. That was the one that they tanked her, and Carolina. Yep. Here's what really tanked her. You got 36 points from your kicker and defense. She got 3.
Yep.
That's what made the difference.
I picked up this kicker this
Literally
week
One
too.
one
by 35, so like
Yeah.
almost verbatim.
Yeah. So that
Made a
was the
change
big
at kicker for the first time all year. Worked out great. Loved it. Because all Tampa does is score touchdowns and then leave no field goals on the field for Ryan Suckup.
Yeah.
And it was starting to bug me, okay? It
Yep.
was starting to bug me.
And all New Orleans does is fuck up over and over again because
Yeah.
Taysom locked in
Yeah.
Hill at quarterback.
Just let him get 100 yards on the ground and kick some field goals. I'll get those points somewhere.
He's
Did it.
locked into failing in the red zone apparently.
Oh, shit. He's good at that. He's very good at that.
Yeah, do
When
we
you
need to
get
say
your
anything else?
yards-
James Conner is like the fucking pick of the year. Like
Yeah.
just
Where was he drafted?
we go over this every week, but it's like 7th or 8th round, and he's like the RB1 or some shit. Like not the RB1.
He's the RB6. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but-
4.
He was
No.
drafted in the 8th round, same as Tom Brady.
Yeah, insane.
When was Cooper Cup drafted?
I don't know. You're going to have to look it up.
Can I
Apparently
do
he's
that?
getting an MRI in his
Oh,
ankle
I got
though,
it in front of me.
so something's wrong with him.
Fifth
Anyway, should we go to the other matchup and then we'll briefly touch on me and Alan's performances, and then we'll do the
Yep.
old matchups.
Let's do it.
All right. Aaron Rodgers had himself a week. Mr. MVP Rodgers himself. Feels good to be getting these final years out of Rodgers. You know, before he rides
Final
off
year.
in the sunset.
Final year.
You know what? If they
Last
play
year felt
well,
all right.
if they win the Super Bowl, I think he stays.
I
Why
don't.
would you leave?
I think you saw that
said
press
This
conference.
past week, I think
Yeah.
the same. If he wins, why would you?
Why would you
not?
leave?
Because
They're catering to you now. They brought back Randall
Yeah,
Cobb. They
you made
listened
a
to you.
big fucking fit all preseason. They gave you what you wanted. You
Yes.
both came together and won. That's literally what you've been
I
wanting.
think
they-
he's out. I think he's already out. I think
I
the only
don't
reason
think
you
so.
say those things is because you've already decided that you're not going to be
You
playing
know what
any
can change
longer.
that? A Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
Good.
And then returning, like, who's leaving on offense?
Cobb.
Jones. Yeah. They're gonna be like, if
You can't
if
play.
Rodgers stays, even if Cobb's terrible, they'll be like, you're on the team, dude. You're a package deal apparently. So I guess you're just fucking getting. Cobb is like the luckiest man in the world if Rodgers stays because
Yeah.
Cobb's just getting a contract just because.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
It's
worth
just-
more than
Yeah, but then he's worth,
Yeah.
but for sure.
It's like Adam Sandler making movies. He's just getting his friends jobs at this point.
He did, yeah. Well, Uncut Gems was a good movie.
Which one?
Uncut Gems, the one he did.
Yeah, that one
Yeah, but was that a Happy Madison production?
I don't know. But anyway, we're out of bounds again. So anyway, that's a football reference. Out of bounds.
Nice.
Anyway, Cobb has been good in spots this year. He's had some games where he's caught multi-touchdowns.
Is that real?
Yeah, it is. At least one, maybe two, actually.
Oh, no, it's at least one? Okay.
Yeah. But at least one for sure. But and that was the game when Devontae had COVID. That's why.
Got it.
But so Rodgers had a good game, 4 touchdowns. It looked like the Packers were going to inexplicably drop a game to Chicago. Would be cut all at the hands of Jakeem Grant, by the way, who might be the fastest fucking man under 6 feet ever.
Bears came out hot.
Like, yeah, came out hot and like defensive touchdowns, special team touchdowns, like they were doing it all.
They look good.
Couldn't do
They
it for
did
4
look
quarters.
good. And
though.
Justin Fields didn't look bad. Made some plays.
Look at a manager, like a field manager.
Yeah.
Doesn't really making mistakes. Just kind of.
He had a
doing
really
enough.
nice crosser route to Demir Bird. That then Demir Bird just caught a seam, took it to the house.
Yeah.
And then he had a few other plays there. But a lot of their big plays came all at once in like the second quarter, and then they didn't do much after that.
That's true.
So
I assumed that Mr. Allen had this locked up after getting 34 Thursday night from Dalvin Cook.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you hear what they're calling him, by the way? The device, because of what he was wearing
What was he wearing?
his. He was protecting his shoulder, I think.
Okay.
So he had this huge fucking contraption to like stabilize his shoulder, and then he came out and ran for like 200 yards and looked like a monster.
Fuck.
So they're calling him the device.
That's kind of cool.
It's
I like it.
fantastic.
The
Yeah.
device works.
Is
That's
that
what
how
the footballers were calling him. Yeah.
205 yards that man had and 2 touchdowns to
I
boot.
mean, he single-handedly had that game won, and then the defense wanted to almost single-handedly give it away.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they got their TV ratings.
Can you imagine that? He comes back, sore shoulder, wearing the device, puts up 34 fantasy points, and then his defense still fucks him.
Oh my
Does he
god,
just
they
retire
sure
at
tried.
that point? Because, I mean, like, what can I do here? You know what I mean? Just
Man.
retire and make Minnesota pay him, like, his promised money.
Oh man, Lamar Jackson costed Allen the playoff.
1 point, Lamar Jackson.
That ankle injury, you know?
Yep.
Do that
Left
to
the
you.
game. Left the
Probably out
game
for a while,
early.
too.
That's gonna sink Baltimore's season.
Lamar Jackson and Josh Jacobs. He's been a letdown this year.
He also, here's the other
3rd
problem.
round pick, Josh Jacobs.
Here's the other problem
And
for
he's a
Allen.
running back 22.
Allen had many opportunities to improve the consistency of his team and stop being like the glass cannon of the league, and would just never come with a positive trade. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to like throw any shade at anybody, but like you could have had Mike Williams off your team at one point,
Yeah,
and
it's true.
And you never came with any like meaningful trades, and so you end up with Mike Williams and Josh Jacobs, who are 2 of the most inconsistent players in the league.
And it's really tough relying on playoff action from that kind of nonsense.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
this is what happens.
Yeah, well,
And he went against a really good squad who seemed to
Who's
be
been very
hitting,
consistent lately.
hitting the stride at the right time. Najee Harris, running back 5 in the season.
Win, lose, or draw.
Never going to bench him.
Getting his points.
Leonard Fournette is almost as good. It's the number 5 and number 6 running backs he's got.
He also got the return of Jamar Chase.
who is the number 4 receiver on the year?
Yeah. And we don't like that.
You see a 5-4-6 in the starting lineup
He doesn't-
anywhere.
Go ahead, sorry.
It's just killing it.
He didn't have a weak spot.
I
His
mean,
flex was weak this week, kind of, because A.J. Dillon fighting for carries with
His
Jones.
number 2 receiver is
he's
also
pretty weak.
nothing.
His wide receiver 2 is weak, and Kelsey's been not.
Pittman's
Oh,
coming.
he's got
Pittman's
Michael
coming back.
Pittman down on his
Oh,
bench,
that's
so this
true.
was just for 1 week.
Yeah.
But
He's got Kelsey and Goddard as options at tight end.
He could
depending
put
on
he
matchups.
could put Goddard in as a flex.
Here's probably plays me next week with his wide receiver 2. Guess who Colts be playing? Patriots.
Patrick,
You know
Jake's
they're
gonna beat you this
No,
week.
he ain't.
He's gonna beat you this week.
He's definitely not beating me because
Jake, I believe in you. I feel like you got this
he's
one.
absolutely not beating me. Because check this out. He's got Leonard Fournette against the Saints. That ain't gonna go well.
It might.
Okay.
It might.
It might.
I don't think so.
It might.
Definitely might.
It might.
I don't think it's going well. And then he's gonna get. What's gonna happen is he's getting Michael Pittman, who's gonna play as wide receiver too, most likely, right?
Okay.
And again, he's playing the Patriots.
But who's quarterbacking for Philly? Because that makes a huge difference.
Who's quarterbacking for Philly?
If it's Minshew, Goddard's a flex.
No. Pittman plays for the Colts.
I'm talking about Dallas Goddard.
Yeah, I mean he could do that against Washington. It's possible, but he, what's his face? Sirianni already said when Jalen Hurts is healthy, it's Jalen Hurts' job. So that's what's going to happen there, and then we're just going to march our way into the final, and we're going to light the whole fucking league on fire, and we're going to throw it into a Chicago dumpster, and that's what's going to happen. You know, I'm sorry to say, but you guys, you know.
What? Go ahead.
It's easy to see at this point where this trophy is headed, and it's right here into this beautiful.
Man, you're gonna sound
It is
so fucking
only
sorry
easy
next week.
fire.
Only easy for you to see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's pretty much Jake's team. You gotta like Dylan getting 15 carries a game. I think that's gonna continue for the Pack because the weather's getting cold, and it is hard to tackle that man when he's that big and it's that cold in Green Bay. And the Packers, I think, have realized that. LaFleur knows that because he had Derrick Henry for so long and he fucked it up. And so now he's trying to rectify that, like I keep saying. But they're giving Aaron Jones a lot of snaps and, like, explosive play potential, but they're giving, like, the meat and potatoes to Dylan right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. Problem is the Packers' O-line sucks. We don't have Bakhtiari. We don't have Elton Jenkins. If you watch that Packers-Bears game, when they do the PFF stuff at the beginning, when they show the ranks, there was like 4 out of 5 linemen were in the bottom 5 in the league.
Oof.
You don't like that.
You don't like that.
That's awful.
And the only reason we're putting up 45 is because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks to ever live.
That's a
And
fact.
he gets the ball out of his hand quickly.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
They are as good as that man, and he real good.
And
So
he real good.
you better hope that he
Yep.
finds it in his big,
His
strong Aaron Rodgers heart
His
to
big-
stay in Green Bay.
That's right.
Because he's given me every indication that he is not.
And you know what? He understands that we need him, and so he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay for the people.
I don't think
people
Aaron
like me in
Rodgers
sport.
is like that.
What do you mean? He's totally not gone Hollywood and only cares about his image and like.
I'm not worried.
Kinda
I don't think the
on.
man's so much worried about his image. I don't think he has much of a care for the people of Green Bay.
You want to know what I think's happening?
I want to know what you think is
He's
happening.
going to Denver. He's going to Denver. Denver's got 3 solid wide receivers and an explosive tight end.
I wouldn't hate
A
that.
decent defense.
I don't think he's going to the
when they get
Patrick
some draft
Mahomes
picks.
division though.
I think he would love to be in that division and play against Herbert and Mahomes. Think
Think
about
so?
all the marquee matchups and the eyeballs that would be on those games.
Oh, so he wants the smoke.
Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. Maybe I just think like he wants an easier division to
Yeah.
win
Miss America.
because he's been
entering
playing
house.
in the NFC North for so
A
long
little
that
bit
he's
of
probably
puppy
used to
love
it.
entering the house. Little Mila in the house.
Mila in the house.
Yeah. It's baby Mila boop boop.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Any other comments on this matchup before we go to the ones for this week?
Well, did we, to fairly cover Allen's team, Dan Montgomery had a decent week. Devontae Adams had a huge week.
Another strong showing from Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker,
Best kicker. Way
best
to go,
kicker of all
Allen.
time.
Second best this year.
This year.
Only the kicker 2 on the season.
Yeah, what the
a
fuck,
bum.
dude.
Fucking bum. Was
God
it Tyler
damn.
Bass?
It's actually Matt Gay. No, it's not Matt Gay.
Is it Matt Prater?
I just want to say that. It might be Prater.
I'm a Prater.
Prater has I think the most field goals or second most field goals all time over like 50 yards or something.
Yeah, it's him.
They showed that
It's
stat.
Nick
Yeah.
Folk
Nick
is
Folk?
the kicker 1 on the year.
I can see
By
that.
15.
Patriots can't score touchdowns to save
Yeah.
lives.
There you go.
Matt Gay's number 3.
There was one week where Folk also had like 21 points. Yeah, so anyway, let's get into the performances me and Alan put up. Alan obviously didn't do very well, but
We don't need to talk about these at all.
Do we need to talk about bye weeks? People that
Yeah, we don't give a fuck
No,
about that.
okay.
nobody
so
cares. He
let's
played
just
an
blow past,
imaginary
like,
opponent.
Alan is whatever. He didn't have a lot of his players. He didn't have Jonathan
And it
Taylor.
never mattered.
It didn't matter. And then for the one that did matter, I mean, we really need to dig in
Just
to
wants
this
to talk about
dumpster
his
fire
team.
team.
The fuck out of
You
here.
know, we just get. Nah, we don't need to talk about it. Let's go into the matchups next week.
Let's go to the
There's
matchups
no
next
reason to even talk
Thank
about
you.
that. Yeah.
All right, well,
You've gloated enough,
no
sir.
shit. Unbelievable.
You all know.
Well, you're projected to lose by 10 as of right now.
Yeah, well, I don't have my defense in.
Put him in.
Oh, put him. You want to put him in?
Put him in.
Put
put
him
him
in.
in.
See
Put
what
him
the
in.
projection is.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Why not?
How are you guys seeing the? Oh, okay. I see what you're doing here. All right, let me put my lineup
Commissioner doesn't
as I
even know how to navigate
potentially
his own
would
fucking
have
league.
it for this week,
If you wouldn't mind.
if I wouldn't mind. 97.2. What's Jake slated at? That's what I would probably have it as. You know what? Scratch that. We would definitely play Jalen Waddle against the Jets over Chuba against the Bills.
That's a good call.
Yeah, so 97.9 is what my projection is.
Nice
But we all know
7.9.
Kyler's scoring more than 20 against Detroit. Let's be real. You know?
Okay, well then you're pretty much tied on projections then, because if he swaps out one receiver, he's about 97.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, looks like even matchup on paper, but we all know it's not.
Yeah, he's gonna beat you in
He's
the
gonna
round.
beat you.
We all know we're at least 20-point favorites. Anyway,
You're gonna score 80. You're gonna score 80 points.
score 80, and he's gonna score 75, which has happened all year, and I'm gonna be in the final. It's real.
Don't brag about that.
Hey, win's a win, and it looks like to me we're in the semifinal with a great chance to go to the final. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna lose.
I just really want Cody to make it because we know I'm making it, and I want an all-pod championship.
All
That'll be
budget.
fun.
Well, it could be the
For you
roommate bowl.
guys.
For no one else.
I mean, shit to me.
Oh, it's gonna be a real problem for like the shit flying and just overzealous confidence.
It would.
And next week,
It
me
would.
and Cody, can you imagine? It's
Oh,
gonna be a
yeah.
big problem.
I want to see it because I want to be the one to do it to you, but I think Jake's gonna beat you.
I really don't think so, and honestly, I think Allen beats you. So I guess we can agree to disagree.
I might. You mean
about
I
who
might
gets
lose to the
final.
player that actually scored the most points in the league?
And with Jonathan Taylor coming back, yeah, you just might, sir.
Who are they playing?
I don't know.
Isn't it Tampa?
They're playing New England.
Well,
Ooh.
that's yeah.
Ooh.
But it has not mattered.
Mr. Belichick likes to shut down one man.
It's
He
true.
sure does. Wouldn't
but
that be something?
Well, look at that.
I know, that's
it-
nasty.
it-
I don't wanna
I was
look
gonna
at
say, It has not mattered.
It has not mattered.
Against
But will it
anyone.
matter?
I don't think
Will
so.
it matter?
I don't think New England has as
I
good a
mean,
run defense as
They
as
put
the
up.
Bucs do.
He got 50 points. Remember who he got that against? Buffalo.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And Buffalo at that point was still a good defense. I don't know necessarily
3
know if
weeks
they
ago.
are anymore.
Only
Without
3
Trey
weeks
White.
ago.
Alright, well.
You know?
I
At least it's not in New England.
as
It's
much
that.
as I would like Bill Belichick
Not good for
to
him.
stop doing this, give me one more week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, hey, Bill, get a life, dude. Move
But
on.
like,
yeah.
you know, give
Hold
me
off.
one good inning.
Hold off
We'll
for
go
a
out
week.
strong. We'll go out
Yeah,
strong.
good.
Man, I heard
Get a
Bill.
life, but go out strong. Honor yourself.
Yeah.
And my fantasy team.
Please.
So anyway, what else we got? We got the so the matchups we know for the playoffs, semifinals. Me versus Mr. Schrozy, Cody versus Alan the OG. You have Bailey versus her man Alan's broken Dalvin in the consolation fourth place game, right?
Fighting to get fifth.
Or no,
at
they
this
fall
point.
into the winners of the losers.
Actually, whoever wins that game.
The best they can finish is fifth.
Actually, don't they just play each other again
Fifth,
the next
fifth,
week?
right.
Because
Yeah, I think that's how they.
yeah,
That's like
they're in a dead
They're in a
zone.
void.
They have exited gracefully out of the winners bracket.
They're on vacation together.
Fallen
and
into a
alone.
Stephen King novel. As
Yeah,
you say, you
there
know?
we go.
So, Team Chaos 1 versus the Comeback Kids in the
Playing for pride.
the loser land down there. Then Erica versus Todd. We hope Erica can pull that one off. against
Otherwise-
Oh,
Todd.
it's not. She's back in the Sacco.
Otherwise, it's the old Sacco Bowl. For
Sacco
them.
in the Sacco.
It would be shocking to see that team lose 3 in a row.
It would.
against the
It would
lowest
because
ranked
I
teams.
still think she's got one of the most solid teams.
We
Yeah.
keep saying that, but let's look at her points the last 5 weeks.
Look at the
and
matchups.
see.
Look at the matchups. Look at the matchups though. Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott against the Giants. Nick Chubb against the
Yeah, but
Raiders.
you would have said that this week.
That does-
Diggs,
that doesn't hold much
Carolina.
for me.
Debo
Giants
gets
got a decent
Atlanta.
defense, actually. They do. Some weeks the Giants will show up.
She's got Miami's defense going against the Jets.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it. Every little piece looks pretty
She should
good.
win, and she should have won last week, and she should have won the week
Who
before
are the
that.
Brownies playing?
The Brownies are playing.
Should've won all of them.
You should have.
Yeah, should. Yeah.
The Brownies are playing the Raiders.
Well, you like that.
You like that?
They are more of a pass funnel defense, though. You don't run the ball a lot against the Raiders, but you don't throw the ball when you're Cleveland, so that's the other thing.
I mean, she could probably play Kirk Cousins against Chicago and do just fine too.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that.
Primetime game though, remember?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Talked about
I
this
didn't know.
on
I didn't know it was the
Yeah.
prime time. Look at it. It does say, yeah, it's a Monday nighter.
We talked about
Avoid
it last
that.
week because,
Avoid that.
because you wanted to throw some shade
You
on
want
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, you want to avoid that. You don't want a piece of that.
Well, we got Justin Jefferson's down good game, down but still a good game out of the way this week. So next week's a 30-pointer coming. But anyway,
The loser of that matchup is going to get the loser of Brant versus Trish, and that will be our Sacco.
that will be this. So there's 4 teams that
It's gonna be
potentially
Martin
the
and Martin.
Sacco.
That's correct.
It could be Trish. It could be Todd. It could be Erica. It could be Brant.
The losers of those 2 matchups will be the ones.
Who is the most loserest of the losers?
Trish.
That is the question.
I think Trish is the
I
loser.
still got my money on Trish.
Yeah.
I mean, the lowest points of the whole season, right?
Is
Oh,
it
she
not
had a day.
nice to bet on, to win money on who's the biggest loser?
I think all is
Can we
fair.
place bets?
All is
Absolutely.
fair.
Does anybody want me? I'll tell. I got Trish.
God damn you! That's the.
I've been calling Trish for weeks.
I think we all have.
Well,
We've been discussing it
does
together.
anybody want to bet that it'll be someone else?
Yeah,
No.
I will bet you that it's
The field.
anybody besides Trish.
Okay.
Do we, if we win that money, do we give 20% to the person who lost to get you that money? Is that fair? Do we buy him a drink, perhaps?
Are you gonna do the same for Trish?
Yeah, if I win $20 off Trish's back, I'll give her $5. I'll give her a drink.
You
Wait,
don't-
what are the stipulations here? Who's getting paid for our bet?
So what I'm saying is,
you each put down a 20.
Okay.
Yeah, we each got to take a different horse. So we could pull straws, or you guys could just give me Trish, and then you guys can fight it out for the other.
I don't know what you guys. This is all Jake.
Oh, no. See, I was getting the other 3.
Oh, okay. You get
Anyway,
the
but
other 3.
Trish.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah.
All right,
Either
all right.
Trish or Bust.
I take Trish or
Because
Bus.
she's the favorite to get it.
And so
What if I take myself?
to be the loser, nah, you can't do that.
Collusion.
There's conflict of interest.
Yeah, there's some P Rose going on there.
Yeah, come on now. You can't bet on yourself to lose.
Yeah.
We all know that. Anyway, yeah, Eric.
Okay, so $20. $20 says that Trisha does not come in last.
So then what happens if
The winner
one-
gets 15, and whoever makes good on
whoever becomes the Sacco, their consolation is
$5.
here, Jake, to buy a beer
because
There you
because
go.
they have won
Yeah.
off of your
off of your misery.
misery.
There
It
you
is
go.
written.
It is written.
It is written.
All right.
All right.
You guys should at least shake on it.
Yes, we'll just shake it. I'm just repeating everything you say. I just realized I did it twice in a row, so I just kept it going. Shit. Anyway, do we have anything else to talk about this week? We got any? We want to dive back into some history lessons, just to
Have
round
you
this baby
put
out?
any, no history lessons, but have you put any more talk into a postseason party
Partay.
or a get together of some sort?
Well, we definitely got to do something because we have some awards to give out. We didn't do it last year. It would be way more fun to crown the champion at a party.
It would.
And like maybe we don't have to do it for the
as
Super
long
Bowl.
as it's not Patrick.
I mean, it would be great to throw a party for myself in which you all crown me the champion at the party.
I mean, let's be
that I
honest.
arranged.
That's what this entire thing has been orchestrated for. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
the entire league this year, all the efforts.
you put forth all of this just so that at the end everyone can sit there and like look at this thing that you're really proud
That's
of.
right.
Pay
And
no
then
mind
I
to
could
the
hold
man
up
behind the
that $900
curtain.
Yeah,
for
no
all
shit.
You and be like, you know what I mean? Just
Yes.
give you a little Mr. Burns laugh. Thanks.
I think having a villain is always fun.
Hey. Okay, it's fun having a villain.
Yeah.
Am I the villain?
I mean, in that
I'm the villain
scenario,
this year.
yes.
I like being.
You
the
just
villain.
said Mr. Burns,
Yeah, you're right.
so
Hey,
you did that to you.
in some people's eyes, Mr. Burns.
I bet
brought a lot of jobs to that community.
I bet you,
know what I'm
Mr. Burns, also
Jerry
thought,
Jones is the only person that feels that way about Mr. Burns.
Hey,
I
Mr.
bet you, Mr. Burns also thought he was favored by the gods.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
There's at least one person that thinks Mr. Burns is a good person, and that's his life. All right,
No, he doesn't.
Smithers.
No,
Is
he
it
doesn't.
Smithers?
Yeah, Smithers is in love with him. They have a
That's right.
classic
He's got the white
Stockholm
Michael.
syndrome.
Right?
Shmee Doctor fucking Captain Hook like vibe going on.
Yeah, exactly. Shmee.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Smithers and Shmee sound a
Yeah.
lot alike.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And then Dwight Schrute, Schmeed, Smithers.
You're right. That
There's
is a lackey name, isn't it?
They all start with S's, you know.
Put that
Stein?
weird Shm.
Stein.
Yeah,
Stein,
Lackey starts with S.
Lackey.
They all
Pretty much
start
sound
with S.
exactly the same.
It's all coming around, you know. Cody is always, typically like.
If I close my eyes, I can't even tell a difference.
Number 2 last year, racing for second again.
Oh shit.
Consistent excellency out of the Butthole Wrecking Squad. Just saying.
Consistent losing at the top.
Without a
though.
trophy.
Without a trophy.
Well, it's probably going to be happening again because, as we said before, that trophy's going to be set up right here on this table for a solid at least week and a half before I get tired of looking at it and then move it to that room over there.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
anything else, guys? We're good. We are gonna have a party. So show up if you want. Hopefully everybody shows up. It'd be a good time. If I get everybody confirmed, we might even put in a little extra work and we can do that little voting thing and have a couple more prizes. So maybe even if you didn't get anything, you didn't win any money, maybe you'll get like a bobblehead or something. I don't know. Maybe you get a lump of coal.
Ooh. Cody, how do you feel about Allen's statement today that he might be getting a Trayvon Diggs jersey?
Ooh.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Almost a little torn.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he have a team?
Allen
Alan's
doesn't
Alan
really have a
likes-
team.
he likes
Allen
players.
has players. He likes
He guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
to
his
see it,
team,
but,
if his team was anybody, it'd be the Hawks. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you were to pick a team, I think you should pick the Chargers. The Chargers need more fans, and the Seahawks need less because the Seahawks fans are trash.
And he does ride or die for
Herbie.
Herbert.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Alan, this is an official petition. Go ahead and change your favorite team to the Chargers.
Yeah.
They got pretty colors. They're a lot better than the Seahawks.
Powder blue look good on him at the draft.
It
You know what I'm
would.
saying?
It would. You'd look good in a powder blue. Be a Chargers fan because they need it, bud.
He didn't get
And
powder
we had a
blue,
friend
though.
that
He got
just
the dark
jumped off
blue with
that
the white
wagon,
people.
so-
Should be the powder. Should be the powder.
The one he got looked fresh.
It does. The
I
white
gotta
ones
say.
also look fresh.
Yeah. White, you can't get white because it gets dirty. It gets pit stained.
Dude, get the white one anyway. It doesn't need to be pretty forever.
Get the white one.
Just get
to
the
pull
knockoff
off.
one that's only $40 and doesn't have any logos on it.
Still $60.
You don't have to worry about it.
Still $60.
Shouldn't look hard enough.
But anyway, what I
Didn't
mean,
look at all.
So yeah, we decided Allen was the top point scorer, right? So that's
Yes.
the jersey. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll be talking to him about that. The rest of the things decide are who gets the trophy and the money. And then, like I said,
I really think that in the future we should add postseason numbers
we should.
because
We'll vote on it, but I think we should too.
I mean the number one running back of the entire year's bye week wasn't included in the thing, and that was also the winner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, there's many reasons why.
But
There's
that will
also,
change next year because we flubbed that. I think the playoffs shouldn't have started until the bye weeks were done.
It's true.
So that would be a one-time
There
thing.
was a few
Got
things
it.
this year, minor details that we'll
First
account for next year.
week 18 of the
Ever.
NFL, we can
Yeah.
be off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be okay
Yeah.
for the playoff thing. The points thing was a little bit of an oversight. The other reason why having the points thing go through the whole year
It quits
is
tracking it.
it motivates you to keep going.
Yeah,
Well, it quits tracking it, but we could easily track it ourselves.
we could.
We could. It wouldn't be hard. We have all the data.
It would add a little suspense into the reveal.
See,
Yeah.
now there is the argument that it makes everybody play harder, but the odds that you are even in the running when you're on the loser's side, it's not going to do anything for incentive for the bottom six because you're probably not in the running because you're in the bottom six.
That's not necessarily
Probably.
true. You could have lost a lot of games and put up a lot of points and just been unlucky.
Well, and then you still
Yeah,
get
like
3
the opposite
weeks.
of you this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I can happen,
Get
and,
fucked.
and I am inevitable,
That's possible.
then
I
I'm
am
like,
inevitable.
I am like Thanos, the inevitable one. But if I can happen, then the law of science tells us that an equal and opposite other thing could happen
Yeah.
in the other direction. See what I'm saying?
It is possible. All
It's
things are
it's
possible.
science, dude. Trust
Science
ending
brought
at
to you
the
by
end.
Thanos.
I like it ending at the end of regular season because the parallel with the NFL. This is a handful of
fair.
people that are out of the running. It's just nice, clean cut. Stats are already kept in the league.
Yeah.
If we stick with ESPN,
You like keeping it the way it is.
I like
Okay,
going
well,
the
you
other
get-
way.
Oh,
Then
you
that's
get
why we got to
crowns.
vote.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
just like
true.
we always do, we'll throw it out to the tremors of democracy, and we'll see where things shake out. See that lined up? That was good. See that reference lined up? Tremors
Tremors
shake out.
of
It worked
democracy.
out. Sometimes they come together in our brain. Anyway, well, hey, maybe not for you, but you know what? We liked it.
Who's we? Do you have
It's the
multiple
royal we.
personalities?
We've
back
covered this. Come on, man. You've not been listening for these last weeks.
I try not
We're
to.
the royal we over here. You know, that's what we do.
I mean, just to stay in the room of that loser ladder though, like Erica points for is like number 4 in the league down in the loser bracket. So
Also-
so she could theoretically still get that top spot.
Also, even
Not
though,
after week 1 in the ladder though, because she put up a 73.
even though I had a bunch of piss poor weeks through the year in terms of point scoring, not winning obviously because we know what those results were, but in terms of overall points, I was like 11th, right? And within 2 weeks, I went from 11th up to like 6 or 7.
There was some muddy water in there.
There was a big jump because I
You had a 150.
I had a 150, but I had 3 out of 4 weeks where I was over 100. So like if you had just like a string at the end there, you could because like even when I was down at the bottom, the difference between me and the top team, it was like 150 points. But if you think about that, if that top team had a week where they scored 73 and then I scored 150,
That's half.
that's half of that
Yeah.
in 1 week. You know what I mean? So it could
That is
swing.
asking for a lot though from the potential leader to have that sort of thing, and then the second and last to have the 150. I hear what you're saying.
Well,
But look what happened
possible,
to
it
you.
doesn't
Look
hold
what
a whole
happened
lot
to you
of
when
weight.
Derrick Henry went down.
Yeah.
You were crushing it. So what would happen to Allen? He's killing it.
I mean,
And
still
then-
crushed it.
And then, well, yeah. What I'm saying is though, yeah. Oh, he's sliding it in. Yeah, we'll take it. I've
Still
been,
crushed
I've
it.
been
Still crushed
sliding
it.
a lot.
Still crushed your point total.
Anyway, well, what could have happened to Allen is that, like, you know, Jonathan Taylor could have got hurt in week 13, and then he's putting up, you know, 90s instead of 120 every week, and somebody, you know, is able to overcome him at the end.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would
but
have
most likely it's going to be somebody that's already in that winner bracket
Yeah.
It's fair.
that's overcoming him.
But
The odds that somebody's going to come from 7th to 1st in 4 weeks is very
I
slim.
would
we
have
can all
overcome
give
him.
our little lawyer arguments either way on this, but
Yes,
we
sir.
just got to vote on it.
Yeah,
you know?
in my particular instance, I would have more points than Allen now because of our 1 week in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wonder if
So-
that's influencing your argument at all.
20. I want that fucking
Well,
Trayvon
it
Diggs
would've
jersey.
been me
I
if
want
the
that
rules
Diggs
would've
jersey
been-
He
so
wants it
bad.
on- and he wants it on my dime, apparently.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's nicer when you don't have to pay for it.
It is. It feels better. You could wear that with a little more gusto.
Well, and the
You
thing
already
is,
have one, you
too,
didn't pay for it.
Sure,
you
but-
can,
but no one else paid for it either.
and the stipulations of it are is that you can,
Oh, you're paying for it.
basically the stipulations of it are is that you could, like, so Brent and Allen got jerseys last year, right? Brent, and I can't do that every year because it just costs too much money.
Right.
Brent got one too.
Yeah, Brent got one as the winner last year because we have a trophy, right?
Got it.
So that was my thing that I did last year.
Heard, but now we got the trophy.
Yeah, so we got the trophy, and so that's like the winner gets the trophy and he gets the money. So I feel like that's enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or she, with through you know, I
Yes, sir.
called you out on being beside. I can't let myself slide there.
I mean, there,
anyway,
you know,
but
you could have the trophy
I mean,
and
they're all
a
out of
jersey.
the running currently.
yeah, I know it's not gonna be the first year we crown a woman. Get fucked, women. You know what I mean? Throwing shade at 50% of humans right there. That's right.
Guess who's sleeping on the couch tonight?
Well,
It's a large
sounds
cut.
like you because you gotta be out here with the puppy. Anyway,
Both tree places.
What a laugh.
I'm just fucking around. Anyway, just trying to save my ass there.
Yeah, damage control. We know.
But yeah, you know what we're doing. Where were we going with this? We had
I don't know, I
the
think
jerseys. The jerseys.
the jerseys,
What I was
yeah.
gonna say. Last point I'll make, and we can close this out if you guys got nothing else. But he got a signed jersey. Okay, if you want a signed jersey that is your size, sometimes it's pretty hard to find.
Yeah.
You know, for a reasonable price. So my stipulation kind of is that if I can find you a signed jersey that you want to wear at your size, like I will, but in general, if you want the signed jersey, it might not be the size that fits you. And also the argument kind of is like, why are you getting a signed jersey if you want to wear it,
Yeah.
right? So it's
I
either,
like my wearables to be clean.
yeah. Well, also though, like the point of signed jersey is to hang it up. Right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put that in a fucking box and put it on your wall.
Which is what I think. I mean, Brent might wear his. I don't know, but I would assume he's probably got to hang it up somewhere.
I would want a wearable jersey.
Yeah. And so then Allen went the different route, and he got the Herbert. No, it's not signed, but he got a nice Herbert jersey. you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of the stipulation because they shake out around the same price actually.
I hear you.
So that's all I want to say. A little
Cool.
PSA to the
All
league.
right. Well,
So
here we
good?
are. Yeah.
Rounding out week 14, was it? Is that right? Yeah, week 14.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Good luck to to all those people still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
2 of them are here.
You know, good luck to.
I mean, good luck to you, cause like I mean well, but like you're gonna lose.
Good luck to you as my friend, but you're gonna lose as well. And then next week I'm gonna say, suck it.
God, it's gonna be a somber fucking podcast next week. I got a
When
couple
Alan-
other losers sitting next to
When,
me.
when
if
Al
we-
and
if we-
Strozzy are in the
if we
fucking
both-
championship against each
Yeah, if
other,
we both lose, hey, me and Cody, we're not gonna be here next week. We're somewhere.
the
like,
podcast will
It's just
be
gonna
over.
be me, guys.
The
It's just
podcast
gonna
is
be me
gonna go
hanging
down in
out.
flames. We're gonna send in Strozzy and Alan because apparently they're the only ones that know what the fuck they're doing.
It's gonna be me hitting soundboard buttons for an hour and a half.
I'd tune into that. Let's be real. That'd be
Be
fantastic.
like the episode of Friends where Ross plays music on his keyboard and it's all those random sounds over and over again.
Not my
actually-
real dad.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Anything else, y'all, or is it exit song time?
It's
I
exit
think it's
song
exit
time.
song time. Let it rip.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Hey,
No,
hey.
no, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh,
Alright
yeah.
then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. This shit, I'm